Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Saturday afternoon's edition of the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the running of the BetRivers 200 as we get set today at the Dover Motor Speedway for our first NASCAR race on this NASCAR race weekend here on the channel. ARCA was last night, but as far as the top three series in NASCAR, we have our first race here today. Truck Series is off this weekend, so it's just the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Cup Series headed way at the Dover Motor Speedway for this weekend's event at the Monster Mile. And as we get ready for today's BetRivers 200, we'll go through the starting lineup for today's race. Brandon Jones qualified on the pole, was also fastest in practice. We'll see what he can do starting up towards the front, still looking for his first win with a Junior Motorsports Chevrolet, now almost a season and a half into that ride. Riley Herbst starts in the second place position, looking for his first win of the season. Has had some strong runs already early this year. Speaking of strong runs, but has not gotten their first win, Justin Allgaier will start on the inside of row 2. He's led the most laps of anybody without a win on the Xfinity Series field this season. And Austin Hill, a two-time winner already this year, to the outside of him to start in row 2. Sheldon Creed and Kyle Weatherman in row number 3. Great qualifying effort for Weatherman yesterday afternoon. We'll see if he can back that up with a good run in the race today. Chandler Smith and Jesse Love will line up in row 4. Love coming off his first career win at Talladega last week, and Chandler Smith already a multi-time winner this season. Taylor Gray and A.J. Allmendinger in row 4. Gray in the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing for the 5th time this season, and Allmendinger running double duty this weekend in Cup and Xfinity. Of course, he's an Xfinity Series regular, also searching for the first win of 2024. Cole Custer, the defending series champion, on the inside of row 6, and the defending race winner at Dover from last season, Ryan Truex, back in the 20 car this weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing for the 3rd consecutive week. Sammy Smith and Ryan Sieg will line up in row number 7 in this one. Sieg with a couple of great performances in back-to-back weeks, looking to back that up with another solid run today. Parker Kligerman and Matt DiBenedetto in row number 8. Matty D's best qualifying start this season in his 4 Xfinity Series races. Parker Retzlaff and Caden Honeycutt back in row number 9. Row 10 will be Jeb Burton and Sam Mayer. Anthony Alfredo, Corey Heim back in row number 11. Heim running double duty this weekend in replacement in the Cup Series for the time here at Dover. Ryan Ellis and Kyle Sieg will line up in row 12 behind them. And also behind that row will be Jeremy Clements and Carson Quaffle in row number 13. Quaffle's second start in the 88 car for Junior Motorsports this year. Had a top 10 in his first race a couple of weeks ago. Brendan Poole and Leland Honeyman will line up in row 14. Row 15 is going to be Haley Deegan and Patrick Emerly. Deegan coming off her career best finish of 11th in the Xfinity Series last weekend. Shane Van Gisbergen starting deep in the field. Another rookie there on the inside of row 16. Dawson Cram to his outside. J.J. Yaley and Blaine Perkins in row 17. Garrett Smithley, Daniel Dye in row 18. This is another start for Dye in the 10 car for Colleague Racing. David Starr and Josh Williams will round out the 38 car field today. Back in row number 19. So not a good qualifying effort there for a couple of the colleague Chevys outside of A.J. Allmendinger, who does start in the top 10. As that was your starting lineup for today's race, time to look at the point standings coming into today's event at Dover. Chandler Smith leads by 14 points over Cole Custer for the regular season championship lead. Custer cut that deficit down quite a bit after Talladega last week, outscoring Chandler Smith in points by quite a bit, cutting it from 33 to 14 points back now, as we're 9 races into the season. Still sitting at 16 races before the playoffs begin once we get to the conclusion of this race here today. 7 top 10 finishes for each of the top 3 in points for Hill, Custer, and Chandler Smith, tied for the most on the season in the first 9 races of the year. And Chandler Smith has led the most laps of any series regular with 271 laps led, 3 stage wins to go along with that. Jesse Love has won the most stages this season with 4, all on super speedways, including last week at Dega, and he got his first win last week as well. Speaking of wins, the drivers who are locked into the Xfinity Series playoff field with their respected wins would be 2 for Chandler Smith, as I mentioned, 2 for Austin Hill, 1 for Jesse Love after last week, and also 1 for Sam Mayer, who's still outside the top 12 in the driver standings, but the win locks him into the Xfinity Series playoff field, so still 8 spots are open with a long ways to go, again, in the regular season. A wild race at Talladega last week, but as far as this week goes, maybe a bit more tame, although we'll have to wait and see here what Miles the Monster brings forth for us today. I've already seen a couple of incidences and on-track activity through Cup Series practice and qualifying earlier this morning. A vicious crash in practice for Kaz Gralla in the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing. Luckily, he was able to hop out under his own power after overcorrecting the race car into the outside wall head-on off of turn 4 after getting a bit loose off the exit of the corner. Zane Smith also took a spill in turn 2 with significant damage to the back of his race car. And in qualifying, Christopher Bell went for a slide and backed it into the wall in turns 3 and 4 in the first round. So we have seen Miles the Monster already tear a few cars here today. Hopefully we don't see too many cars torn up by the end of this thing. As far as the battle for the regular season championship goes, I mentioned Custer was only 14 points out of first from Chandler Smith. Austin Hill's very much in that race as well after leading after the first few races of the year in points. He's still sitting third overall in the standings, didn't move from last week's race, and he's 16 points again back out of first, so very tight. Jesse Love, after his win, is now within one race worth of points of first, fourth in the standings, moved up a spot, passing Allgaier, in the points after last week. 41 points out of first for Jesse Love. The drivers without a win who are above the cutoff line in the Xfinity Series field would include Cole Custer, then Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, AJ Allmendinger, Sammy Smith, Parker Kligerman would be the top 10 in the playoff standings. The last two drivers above the cutoff line coming into this race today would be Sheldon Creed and Ryan Sieg. Sieg has just a 5-point cushion over Anthony Alfredo, a little bit of an underdog season so far for Anthony Alfredo and Ryan Sieg for that matter, putting themselves on the bubble ahead of some good equipment. Brandon Jones, 13th in points. Shane Van Gisbergen, 14th in points. We'll see if they can close that gap on Sieg and Alfredo here. And I mentioned Sheldon Creed just above the cutoff line. As of right now, Creed is only 12 points to the good coming into this race today. But the Toyotas have been very strong in recent years at Joe Gibbs Racing at Dover. Creed qualified particularly well. And he's had some good finishes this season, a few top fives. We'll see if he can have another solid run here today, starting in the top 5, as I mentioned a little bit ago. So that's kind of the pre-race update coming into the start of this one here today. Feel free to hit that like button, subscribe for more NASCAR content if you are new to the channel as well. Just hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel 2 weeks ago, so greatly appreciate that. As we are now on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Again, appreciate the support you guys give me every weekend, tuning in for all these live commentary streams and listening to my commentary over the course of NASCAR Truck Xfinity Cup Series races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying this year as well. Dan Bowers, Terry Lewis, and others, welcome into the chat. You guys are the first down there. Per usual, you can vote for who you think is going to win the race in the poll. 12 early votes have been casted. Also 12 likes in the comment section, so appreciate the way of doing both, I guess, by everybody watching the stream so far. Currently, you think Justin Allgaier is going to go to victory lane. 33% of those 12 votes have him. 25% say Chandler Smith. 23% say somebody other than Smith, Allgaier, Truex. And Ryan Truex at 15% of the votes. Remember, again, Truex won this race last season in a part-time ride. This is his third start this year for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's in the 20 car, and that 20 car has already won 2 races this year. Remember, Eric Almirola was able to win at Martinsville, and then also a win for John Hunter Nemechek at Las Vegas. So 2 different drivers have won in the 20 car already. My pick is going to be Ryan Truex to win this race. I think he goes back-to-back at his home track, and I think he'll be the third different driver in the number 20 to win a race this year. So again, my pick is going to be Ryan Truex, and he is starting in the 12th place position here in this one, but he was very fast at practice. He was top 3 in a lot of the lap average categories, including second overall to that of Brandon Jones. So I think the long run speed's going to be there. We'll see more fall off in today's race than what we will over the Cup Series this weekend. Even though the Cup Series had a little bit of fall off in practice, this is a very old surface, was last constructed with this concrete version of Dover back in 1998. So it is the oldest surface of that in the NASCAR Premier Series to this day. I'll turn it over to the Fox booth. You can watch the race visually on Fox Sports 1 this afternoon. So from the local Fox affiliate last weekend for the Xfinity Series back to FS1 this weekend, per usual for them in the first half of the season. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Adam Alexander will be on the call today.
Justin Allgaier alongside Austin Hill, who's won twice this season.
And after that, Kyle Weatherman, a great qualifying effort for him and his team next to Sheldon Creed, looking to turn some stuff around this year.
Following row, you have Chandler Smith starting alongside last week's winner, Talladega, Jesse Love.
AJ Allmendinger in row 5 alongside Taylor Gray, who hasn't made many Xfinity starts but had a great one in his first start.
Row 6, I think, is one to look out for. Cole Custer, we just talked to Ryan Truex. Both are really good at this racetrack. I'll be looking forward to seeing those guys come up through the field. 2 of the 3 drivers in the field who have won, joining Allgaier in that category. Row 7, Sammy Smith, top 10 here last year as a rookie alongside Ryan Sieg, who won the $100,000 last week at Talladega Superspeedway, and 2 weeks ago in Texas, he was oh so close to picking up the win by that much. Sam Mayer got him at Texas Motor Speedway. That equates to 2/1000ths of a second, but that run 2 weeks ago made him eligible for the Dash for Cash, and he was able to finish 17th. That was the best of the 4 drivers last week at Talladega, so he takes home the $100 grand. Here are the drivers going for the big payout today. Riley Herbst starts second, as we said. Jesse Love, who won last week, is 8th in the starting lineup today. And Anthony Alfredo, coming off a career best last week, starts at the rear. After qualifying 21st, he had some unapproved adjustments. Let's hear now from our pit reporters. We begin with Regan Smith, who won right here at Dover in 2015. Hey there, Regan.
Well, good afternoon, Adam. You mentioned Jesse Love a moment ago, getting that first career win at Talladega last week. What a special week it has been for him as well. It's been a busy week. I checked in with crew chief Danny Stockman to find out, now that you got that win with your rookie driver, does it take any pressure off? Can you change anything that you've been doing this season and how you do it? He said, we're going to keep doing the exact same thing. We want to complete all the laps, give Jesse all the experience we can early on in the year. He said, one thing to look out for, though, now we're going to start trying to be more aggressive at the start of these races and learn how to get forward quicker in these races. Josh Sims?
Well, Regan, Carson Kvapil's getting set for his second career Xfinity start after an impressive debut where he finished 4th place at Martinsville. Now, Kvapil's already raced on this track this weekend, and the ARCA race last night came home 3rd. And when I spoke to him earlier, he said, while he did get some experience out there on the track, this car is very different. What he did say is that race did a lot for his confidence and understanding this track. Well, yesterday in practice, top 5 in several categories on speed, and the 88 team feels like they've got something they can work with out here today, guys.
I like this young talent. Hope to see a lot more of them driving that 88 car for Junior Motorsports, and that car has been really fast this year. As we talk about what Carson did, Bubba Pollard at Richmond a month or so ago. You look at 2024 and the drivers who are winning the races, series regulars that have gotten it done. 2 for Chandler Smith, a pair of wins for Austin Hill. Sam Mayer, we showed you the close finish at Texas. Jesse Love last week. 17 combined wins for those drivers in their career. Then you look at drivers that are winless, Allgaier, Allmendinger, and Custer. They won all told 53 times. What gives? I can't believe these drivers are yet to experience victory lane so far in 2024.
Give it time. Give it time. They will win. Every one of those most likely will win at some point this season. Those are 3 great drivers. You said it with a lot of experience. And we brought it up earlier. Justin Allgaier. He's had 9 out of the last 10 races here, finishing in the top 3. He will be strong again today. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. Right along with Cole Custer down Perry Road right now. I expect him to be pretty good here today as well.
Look at our race analysis. Today's race, 200 laps. That equals 200 miles at this 1-mile concrete layout. Stage 1, Stage 2, 45 laps apiece. 110 laps in the final stage. You see the fuel window there, and that could be significant because the way you play the strategy in the final stage, especially if we're doing those long green flag runs, can be a difference maker.
And that's what happened here last year. There was a long green flag run. They actually made a green flag pit stop. They ran it to the very, very end. Boy, they were about out of gas. They're going to have to pit under green to do that. Who knows how this race plays out?
Toyota on board today with Ryan Truex, starting 12th, as we said earlier. Now we look at our Fox weather, 59 degrees, cloudy skies. There is a chance of some rain, but we hope that stays away and we get things going and run to our scheduled distance. As we anticipate the green flag, let's go Team Radio Riley Herbst to the 98.
Let's get on pit road, keep you up front. There's no reason we can't come out here with that $100 grand. Got a good Monster Ford Mustang today. Let's put on a show for these fans and seal the deal. Let's do it. Be there at the end, man. Keep this stretch going. Been doing a hell of a job. Let's keep it going. Pit crew, been doing an awesome job. Let's be aware of our surroundings today. Appreciate all the hard work. Let's go do our job today. Have some fun. Chase 100K. I'm a monster.
The win last week was impressive, but the 6 consecutive top 10s at all different types of racetracks, that's solid for a rookie.
Yeah, it is. You know, he's really impressed
I think a lot of people this year with how he's approached the year and how well of a job he's done, just early on in this season already. And I think he's just going to keep getting better and better, as he gets laps under his belt and gets more comfortable with these cars. So Jesse Love, very impressive to start the 24 season.
And as you heard his crew chief earlier, their goal right now is to be able to figure out how they can get Jesse going faster early in the race. A typical rookie move, right, is where you have to learn the first half of the race, then the second half you're stronger. Right, he's got that win under his belt now. He can be a little bit more aggressive early in the race. Hopefully they're able to find speed sooner, and that will definitely turn into more victories into the season.
See those drivers dropping to the rear, everyone making some unapproved adjustments, so they'll have some ground to make up. Headliner there, Anthony Alfredo, who's going for the dash for cash. Back-to-back top tens for him. Qualifying yesterday, we said Brandon Jones wins the pole. It's his second this year. If you remember, he won. Good crowd on hands for a much cooler afternoon today at Dover for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Green flag is in the air. Pole sitter Brandon Jones on the outside of the front row leads the field to the green and down into turn 1 in the running of the BetRivers 200. Quickly cleared to the inside of the racetrack into the first turn is Brandon Jones from the high side. Riley Herbst, who was on the inside of row 1, now has a car to his outside. Another Junior Motorsports Chevrolet of Justin Allgaier. And Allgaier quickly moves into second as he'll be clear in the middle of 3 and 4. But Brandon Jones, the pole sitter, will lead the opening lap of the race. Things happen fast on this 1 mile oval, shorter racetrack. It's like an overgrown short track, really. Things happen so quick here. And even on a much cooler day where the track's going to have more grip than usual, you're still going to be seeing these cars slip and slide around this old surface. Justin Allgaier still remains in second, nose to tail with him and Riley Herbst, the 4 Dash for Cash drivers. Riley Herbst, Jesse Love, Ryan Sieg, and Anthony Alfredo. And as mentioned in the pre-race from Adam Alexander, that Anthony Alfredo's dropping back to the rear of the field for the start of the race after failing pre-race inspection. Unapproved adjustments there for that race team, which is sending him to the back for the beginning. Taylor Gray moving forward, getting by Jesse Love, who's stuck in the outside lane right now. A.J. Allmendinger going to work himself underneath Love, now battling for 9th. Gray moves to 8th. Side by side, the 16 gets a little bit of a wiggle. And Love couldn't capitalize off of it. Still side by side between the 16 and the 2, down the backstretch into 3. A lot of cars bottlenecked on the inside behind Allmendinger on the bottom lane. AJ really struggling to get off the exit of the corner. This car seems to be very loose, and that time Love is able to clear. He gets back down to the inside, and now AJ stuck on the top as Cole Custer goes to work on the veteran. Caution is out for the first time today, lap 5. And it is a crash by the 35 car in the middle of turns 1 and 2. J.J. Yaley.
Looks like he backed her in there pretty hard.
Looks like
a lot of damage.
Has a little left front damage. Left front headlight.
Yeah.
Window net is down, so he is done for the afternoon. Let's go back and see if we can pick up what happened in progress here.
And they come into turn 1. You see the wreck's already started. A lot of damage for Haley Deegan in the 15. You see the left front just tore all off that car. She was down the inside wall.
Tough break for Haley. Had never seen Dover before this weekend and coming off a career best finish, 12th last Saturday at Talladega. Well, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that left front fender is very important here for downforce.
Early caution at Dover. Top 5, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Creed, and Chandler Smith.
Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Sheldon Creed, Chandler Smith, Austin Hill, Kyle Weatherman, Taylor Gray, Jesse Love, and A.J. Allmendinger are your top 10 as we get to our first caution of the race on lap 5 following a 2-car incident between J.J. Yaley and Haley Deegan at the end of the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. And this is our first yellow. Brandon Jones has led every lap from the pole so far to 7th. Allgaier moved from the 3rd place starting position to 2nd there, getting by the 2nd place starter Riley Herbst. Sheldon Creed up a spot there at the very beginning. Austin Hill down 2 positions. Kyle Weatherman down 1. Taylor Gray up 1. So very little movement in the opening laps. Again, we only had 4 complete green flag laps before the caution, so that is the cause of that. Once again, be sure to hit that like button. Try to get to our goal of 100 likes on the stream before we get to the finish line of today's race. 27 likes already here in the early going. NASCAR Vintage 17, Mark Witkowski, Delbert Wilson, Paul Moss, also welcome into the stream. Yeah, Deegan was just involved in this incident. Tough to tell exactly how it started, but we know who was in it at the end. I think it's going to be a good race today, too. Frank Powers, Candy Cox, thanks for tuning in as well. Eight more yellows, says Delbert. That was his prediction, 9. That's not a bad guess. There was very few cautions in last year's race at Dover. The final stage went caution-free. They actually had some green flag pit stops mixed in there, so we will see. We'll have 2 diecast showings during today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Still trying to play a little bit of catch-up from not doing any at the very start of the season, but we'll have 2 diecast showings again for the race today at the end of each stage. Got an Xfinity Series car under the Busch Series banner, but still a car for that series. And then we've got a Classic Cup car as well from the Gen 4 era. I'd like to see who you guys think is going to win this race. Poll open in the chat has 24 votes. 38% still say Justin Allgaier will win. I think the last I checked it was at 33%, so that has gone up. So Justin Allgaier is the favorite to win the race by way of the chat right now. 33% of you say somebody other than Smith, Allgaier, Truex will win. I should say Chandler Smith, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Truex will win. Ryan Truex has 17% of the votes. Chandler Smith at 12%. My pick was Ryan Truex. He's going up. It was at 12% a little bit ago for him.
Jesse Love, the rookie. First career win comes at Talladega. Redemption for Atlanta. Wild day, wild finish, as we often experience at Talladega, but it all worked out for Jesse Love, who wins for the first time in his career in his 9th start. That got us to thinking, through 9 races, what were some other champions looking like? So we do a comparison with Reddick in his rookie year through 9 starts when he was able to win the championship in 18, and then what Chase Elliott did in 2014. The numbers very comparable, and in some categories even better for Jesse Love.
Yeah, here we go. Laps led. A lot of laps led for Jesse Love. A lot of great qualifying efforts. Led a ton of laps in Atlanta. I think that's where the majority of those laps led came from.
And when you look at what he's done with the stage victories, too, 4 stage wins already this year for Jesse Love. So he's putting points on the board.
It's all super speedways, though. For all those statistical categories, really.
By the way, you didn't run full-time, Joey, but through 9 races, 1 win, 7 top 10s, 217 laps.
It's impressive, Joey.
We're going to look at Ryan's now.
Not all Caitlin.
Still on the full screen commercial break. Once again here, still under the first caution of the race as well. As they continue cleanup on the end of the front stretch into turn 1, where the incident took place between J.J. Yaley and Haley Deegan. And again, Yaley is done for the day following that incident. A lot of damage to the left front of Deegan's Ford Mustang as well. Not sure if she is going to be able to continue or not. She scored 1 lap down currently. And if she does continue, that damage is definitely not going to help aerodynamically, because pretty big hole to patch on that left front with the amount of bear bond they're probably going to try to strap onto it. But they'll try to keep her in the race here with it still being in the early going. Look at some of the other statistical categories. Obviously, this season we went over the point standings for the Xfinity Series. Most top 5s on the year is still at 6 for Chandler Smith, their points leader. which has definitely allowed him to still be the points leader. Again, 14 points ahead of Cole Custer in the standings. 271 laps led. Mentioned Jesse Love's got 220. He's actually got the third most. Justin Allgaier with 229 laps led has the third most of Xfinity Series regulars in the field. 5 top 5s on the year for Austin Hill as well, 4 for Custer. Only 2 for Allgaier despite all those laps led. 2 DNFs, of course, one of those notoriously at Phoenix with 5 to go, leading big at that. Had a left rear tire go out on him. Definitely a freak accident. Very few drivers have not DNF'd yet this season. Jesse Love, in fact, a rookie here that they were just talking about, coincidentally has not DNF'd yet this year either. So completing all the laps, that's a good thing for a rookie. So him to get a win under his belt already this early on into the year and finishing the races, that's going to be a testament to when they go back to these racetracks that he has been at before when we get later in the season. And that will definitely help him come playoff time because a lot of those races in the playoffs are tracks that will have been ran on already once this year, especially in the Cup and the Xfinity Series level. Not as much in the trucks, but they still have a couple as well. Eric Alper pulls like 243 laps this year. It's the second most laps led. Most of those at Martinsville and his dominating win there. 3 stage wins. He's only had 4 starts. 4 starts, and the guy's still 17th in points. Everybody else around him has had 9. If he'd run full-time in the Xfinity Series, I'd almost guarantee he'd win a championship. But only in a part-time role as Eric and, Ryan Truex in that 20 car this weekend. Lost a couple positions from the initial start, from 11th back to 13th.
Behind Riley Herbst, and what's going to happen is Riley's going to lift pretty early into turn 1. You can kind of notice that with the speed difference to the 9. Justin says, I'm going to run the back of you. I got to move up the racetrack. Moves up the racetrack to try to get some air, ultimately past Riley Herbst a little bit later, but the 21 was not too excited about this move as it pushes him up the racetrack a little bit.
Here's team radio for Austin Hill. As Joey said, a little upset.
And yeah, Derek, I have no idea what the 7 was doing, but I'll remember that. Okay, I was just going to ask you. I didn't see something that you did. I didn't know what that was all about, but 10-4, I just noted.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why Austin was not too pleased with that, right? From his point of view, he just got shoved up into the 3rd lane. But let's see. There's always 2 sides of it, so let's see Justin's side of it.
That start, the 98, checked up super early, and I knew the 21 was there, but I was going to plow right through the back of the 98 if I didn't just take it, you know what I mean? I was wondering what happened there.
Well, now we don't have to wonder.
Now we don't have to wonder. That's what he did.
I always thought there were 3 sides to the story. Mine, yours, and the truth, right? But maybe...
I actually think that was pretty truthful.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty
truthful,
good. You know? And I think when Austin Hill sees that, right, everybody will settle down and we'll move on with life. All of this puts Allgaier in the front row for now, what will be our first restart of the afternoon. And Brandon Jones, who's in control of the race again, takes the outside lane. Mentioned J.J. Yaley done for the day. He was released from the care center.
We need to get this vortex going.
Yeah, a few.
I saw a couple drops on the camera. We need to get some cars racing vortex. You believe in that one? I'm just trying to make up any excuse to try to get racing. So it doesn't get
I think they're going racing. Lights are out. Pace car's about to drop off. I hope. There he goes.
Restart.
All right, green flag going to be back in the air here, and the 2 JGR Chevrolet, or Junior Motorsport JRM Chevrolets are on the front row. Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, and again, it's Jones on the outside. Green flag back in the air. Justin going to really push hard into turn 1 on the bottom, and he's going to beat Brandon Jones, taking him to school. Easy lead for Allgaier coming up off the exit of turn 2. Jones hangs on for second, side by side for third between Sheldon Creed and Riley Herbst now. Austin Hill in line right behind him in 5th. A lot of other cars side by side in the back half of the top 10, still jockeying for position on the opening lap following the restart. Justin Allgaier, lap 15, out in front for the first time today. after the 9 car of Brandon Jones had led the first 13 laps of the race, most of those under caution, the first 4 under green. Single file line getting by Kyle Weatherman, who started in the 6th place position. 3 wide getting into turn 3 just behind them, and luckily that was evaded near contact getting into that corner. Ryan Sieg now underneath the 91 of Weatherman, looking to make the pass. Both cars slipping and sliding just a little bit, nearly making contact there, right in front of Ryan Truex in the 20. Truex not able to capitalize and potentially get a position gain out of that loss of a battle in front of him. Herb still the highest running Dash for Cash driver in 3rd. Jesse Love is in 10th. Anthony Alfredo, after starting deep in the field, is back in 26th still. And Ryan Sieg in 12th, also running for the Dash for Cash for the 2nd consecutive week. Sieg was the winner of the Dash for Cash after finishing 17th, coming from a lap down to get it done nonetheless in the late going of that race at Talladega a week ago. Mix of either really young drivers or drivers in not necessarily top-level equipment that are in the Dash for Cash this weekend. Definitely makes it a bit more of a wild card. Riley Herbst making the most of it, at least early on, after his great qualifying effort, and still remaining in the top 5 in the early going of the race. And after a great qualifying effort for Kyle Weatherman in the race trim, doesn't seem to be keeping up to pace here as he continues to fade outside the top 10. Sammy Smith, Parker Retzlaff going to get around him, and just wondering when the 91's going to be able to get back to the bottom and settle in. So lap 19 of 200. Make that lap 20 of 200 now. The early going of this one. A 1.4 second lead at the front of the field for Allgaier over his teammate. The big block at the end of the front stretch, a very defensive line getting into the corner for Parker Kligerman as the 92 of Caden Honeycutt was looking to make a move on him. And Honeycutt had to lift so much getting into the first turn after that late block to keep from running into the back of Kligerman that he ended up getting past. Instead, tough to tell what car it was that passed him. It might have been Sam Mayer in the 1. No, it was actually Matt DiBenedetto in the 17th place position. 38 car of DiBenedetto made the pass. Haley Deegan, by the way, is still in the race following that incident, but again is 1 lap down, the only car lap down as of this moment. And again, J.J. Haley out and done for the day, only completing 4 laps this afternoon. Very overcast skies at Dover. Again, it should keep grip in this racetrack for the most part. Slower downforce of Xfinity Series cars, though, again, you're going to see them still slip and slide quite a bit. Cole Custer lurking to the outside of Allmendinger. Contact there off turn 2 between the 19 and the 16. Taylor Gray in the 19 gets clipped on the left rear corner panel by A.J. Allmendinger. I do believe Gray kept it off the wall, thankfully. And Allmendinger, after getting just a little bit sideways, was able to make the save. Held Cole Custer and Jesse Love up from behind. That probably lifted out of the throttle in case something were to happen in front of them. Backed everybody up. Ryan Sieg catching up to that group of cars now. $20 laps to go in Stage 1 this time by. Again, the stage splits today, 45 laps in Stage 1, 45 in Stage 2, and the final stage is 110. Only have to get through the first 2 stages to make this race official today, which would be to lap 90. If we did have any sort of inclement weather this afternoon. Trouble off turn 2, car on fire. Ryan Sieg, huge flames.
Get out of that one. There he is, yeah. Thank goodness.
Seemed to get out really, really fast there.
He's running inside the top 15. Actually, it's Matt DiBenedetto in the 38. At least that's what we're showing graphically. I thought for sure that was the 39, yeah. Yeah, our graphic was wrong. It is the 39.
I think it's burning down. You know, wonder what happened here.
Just on fire.
You see here, it's already on fire.
I don't know, blown an oil line off of it and caught everything on fire. I don't know, coming out of the wheel wells like that.
Little gas line, maybe.
Yeah.
You hate that for this race team because so close a couple of weeks ago at Texas, able to get the job done.
You see, it's on fire as he goes into turn 1 right there.
Stay out of his wake. Stay out of his wake. My front's on fire. There you go. Dig them.
But he did get out quick.
Well, you got to think that's one of the biggest fires I've seen in a long time with one of these race cars. You see him there, he's coughing. You know, you got to assume he inhaled a little bit of smoke there. Hopefully he's okay.
I wonder if he had time to pull his cord. I doubt it. You know, we have a fire extinguisher bottle in the car. I mean, there's a pull cord where you can rip it. It kind of extinguishes the cockpit and the hood. I don't even know if he probably had time to do that. I bet he was just wanting to get out of the thing for how much it was burning up and how fast it was.
Already 2 cautions in the opening stage here at Dover. This one for Ryan Sieg. Coming off of turn 2, on fire. You'll see him hop out of the race car. Look at that. What a dramatic moment.
Scary scene there off turn 2 for Ryan Sieg. Luckily, he has gotten out after a big ball of flame coming out from underneath that race car. Really, the entire cockpit full of smoke and flames. And good to see him get out, trying to catch his breath as he leaves the scene. This is going to put us under our second caution of the race in the early going. Lap 28 with these 2 early cautions. First incident on lap 5 between Hailie Deegan and J.J. Yaley. Again, that knocked Yaley out of the race. And then Ryan Sieg right here bringing out the caution. His car caught fire in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Came to a stop off the exit of turn 2. Free pass should go to Hailie Deegan. And I believe she will get back on the lead lap as a result of this caution. A very slow 80.57 mile per hour average race speed in the early going of this one as well. Jesse Love has 3 wins, really, season. No, he's got 3 poles this season. 3 poles, 1 win for Jesse Love this year. Derek Booth, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, 15 still in. Just got the free pass. So right back to 36 cars on the lead lap again, and 2 of them out of the race, which would be Yaley and Sieg. Tough break for Sieg. That was one of the Dash for Cash drivers as well. Due to all the carnage at Talladega in last week's race, a lot of the Dash for Cash competitors, all 4 of them really got caught up in an incident at some point in time. And as a result, that's why Sieg ended up winning the Dash for Cash and that extra $100,000 despite finishing in 17th. Therefore, he was eligible again this week. Car on fire here in the early going is going to take him out of a chance to win a $100,000 bonus 2 weeks in a row. So now the 3 Dash for Cash drivers that remain would be Riley Herbst in 3rd, Jesse Love in 10th, and then Anthony Alfredo in 21st after starting at the tail end of the field for Anthony. Good weekend at Talladega last week for Alfredo. Had a top 5 in both the NASCAR Cup and NASCAR Xfinity Series races at Talladega. Great run for him in a part-time role for the Cup Series side of things last weekend with Beard Motorsports. And we've seen Anthony run several Cup Series races on the super speedways and in that 62 car over the last couple years in the next gen era.
We got a few drivers coming down pit road.
Jesse Love.
He was running inside the top 10.
So I think what these guys are doing here, they're going to pit, and then run it to the end of the second stage.
Right, yeah, you just flip it, right?
Yep.
Gain that track position when everyone else pits at the end of stage 1. And you know what? This team has won 4 stages, talking about Jesse Love. They got the win last week. They built up a lot of playoff points. So maybe you give up some stage points here to gain that track position. I love having options, and they're taking advantage of it.
I don't dislike it. You see there are only 15 laps to go to the end of the stage. You got to think by the time they go green, it's going to be 12 maybe or so to go. So, you know, they're going to have 12 to 15 laps on their tires by the time it goes green for the second stage. And you're going to get a ton of track, especially if you're Shane Van Gisbergen in there. He started back at 30th. I'm not sure what he got up to, but
yeah, he was still running 29th, 28th, I think. So that was a huge gain for those guys. Yeah.
Today on Fox, it's an NL showdown as Paul Goldschmidt leads the Cardinals against Pete Alonso and the Mets, or the Reds battle Corey Seager and the Rangers today, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area. Josh Williams among the drivers that made a pit stop there, trying to flip the stage. They were caught speeding. So he'll start here at the tail. But once everything cycles through, he can just go back there and take care of his tires, right?
Yeah, I mean, Josh, he had to start in the back too. So it was no-brainer for them. Jeb Burton, I saw, was on pit road too. They had to start in the back, so no-brainer for them. So I don't mind that call. Like Joey said, I mean, there's going to be 13 laps to go by the time you get back here. So, yeah, if you don't have track position, why not?
Ryan Sieg brought out the second caution of the day with that fire. He has been released from the care center, so good news there.
that's great news. What do you think of the choose here, Ryan Blaney? What'd you do?
Well, you see, Allgaier took the bottom.
Mixed it up, didn't he?
The leader took the bottom. I mean, he got the lead from the bottom,
right.
So it's like, all right, well, why would I change up what I'm doing? Now I can control where to launch. So we'll see. A little bit more laps on the tires. It seems to launch a little bit worse on the bottom, if you have older tires. So I think Justin was like, I'll just try it. I think he feels confident if he enters even with the 9 into 1, he's probably going to clear it. So we'll see if he does.
All right, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, front row restart, green flag back in the air. Allgaier gets a good launch on the inside of row 1, just as he did the last time, but he is the control car this time around, so made it maybe a little bit easier for him on these slightly older tires. All clear off the exit of turn 2. Battle for second between Sheldon Creed and Brandon Jones. Creed couldn't stay to the inside of Jones off the exit of the corner, but dives back underneath him into 3 and 4. Jones back on the outside of the racetrack. Jones was the pole sitter to start this one out, and is door-to-door as they work their way into turns 1 and 2. And now Creed goes up the racetrack, nearly makes contact with Brandon Jones. It's allowing Justin Allgaier to pull away now as they battle for second. And a whole train of cars behind them on the inside lane, nose to tail. Dog's whining over there in the background. You can probably hear her. Jones is pulling away just a little bit from Sheldon Creed. Creed put up a fight for a few laps. Here's Ryan Sieg.
That the car was about to get engulfed in flames before that happened.
I saw little oranges coming out of the you know what I mean, right there at the clutch pedal into 1, and I was like, something's not right. And then the spotter's like, it's on fire. So, and then all of a sudden, both fenders engulfed in flames, and I was just ready to get the hell out of there because I ain't messing with no fire. Now on fire, it just sucks. I saw the replay. It looked like I was Ricky Bobby on fire with my hands flailing around, but just sucks. And we had good momentum going. Just gotta bring a faster Scion forward to the track and get them on at Darlington.
Glad you're okay, Ryan.
Glad he's all right. That's a terrible feeling. I mean, I think you've been on fire at least one time in your career, and it's not fun. I mean, it's obviously fire is no good. It was good to see him jump out of it, and then early exit, which is not a good one today, but they'll fight back. They always do. They do a good job on that group.
Here's the other tough thing. They came in just above the cut line. I know it's early, but they were right above that cut line when it comes to making the playoffs, and no doubt will fall out now. They only had a 5-point advantage. Let's get an update on the 2 from Regan.
Well, you showed there Jesse Love pitting under that last yellow flag. They pitted because he has been too tight right now, losing grip with the car all over the place, in particular off the corners. Crew Chief Danny Stockman had a little concern before the race because the weather conditions very different than what they anticipated and tried to predict. So a good opportunity to get a stop early there.
He's actually third in line of those drivers that made a pit stop. The
2 blocks. Cole Custer, he's making some ground up. I mean, he's moving around. He's moving to the top. He just passed the 98, making a run on the 18, and he's moving up the racetrack, you know. And not the racetrack is putting some rubber down, but he's making it work. So look at the run he gets off the corner. He's going to get to the bottom of the 18 into 1. Oh, he chose not to do it. But yeah, Cole is somebody we talked about before the race. I felt pretty good about, and he's really doing a good job of moving around the racetrack, finding speed.
He qualified 11th, did call, he's up to 4th. And here's Truex, started 12th, he's 9th, but he's got company. Sam Mayer starting to make some noise in the 1.
See, AJ Allmendinger just, you got to get out of my way. He said, I got places to be. He had pressure from Ryan Truex behind him. Said, I got to go and lay the old chrome horn there.
But he and Gray, they were tied off of 2 that one time when AJ got into his left rear. So I think he was like, I'm done messing with you. I have got places to be, and I'm going to make quick work of you.
3 to go on the stage. Really good battle here for 3rd. Custer and Creed.
You see, Creed, he's moved up the racetrack now. You know, he saw Custer really be able to make some time up there as Custer's trying to get him loose on the left rear.
I can tell you what, Sheldon Creed's already loose. You can see that car wiggling. From the beginning of this run, he looked really free right in the restart. And I guarantee you it has not gotten any better for him. And now when you have Cole Custer taking air off your rear spoiler, it ain't going to get better.
See Cole's car just being able to rotate really good. You know, he entered up there, had his left front headlight poked out of the 18, just turned down the racetrack and throttled up. So that's pretty impressive to see out of the 00 right there. So I'd be curious to see. I know he's 4.5 seconds back of the leaders, but I'd be curious to see. Restarts in the top 3 or so. We'll see if he's got something for the JRM guys.
Final lap of the stage. The drivers we heard most frequently in the garage this morning: 7 of Allgaier, 00 of Custer, Ryan Truex certainly, and AJ Allmendinger. And all of them have shown signs here in this first stage that could indicate they might be the one later on. For now, it's all about driver 7. Stage 1, Jones was second, his teammate. He needed those points. Custer gets 3rd, Creed was 4th. Riley Hurt started on the front row. He completes the top 5. 4 stage wins in 2024 for Justin Allgaier. He's the man in stage 1 at Dover.
At Dover over the last several years, again, your stage 1 winner is Justin Allgaier, his 4th stage win of the season, and as you heard there in the broadcast, his 7th of his career at the Monster Mile. Brandon Jones, who started on the pole, finishes 2nd in the stage. Cole Custer worked his way up to 3rd. Sheldon Creed 4th. Riley Herbst 5th. Austin Hill 6th. Chandler Smith 7th. AJ Allmendinger 8th. Ryan Truex 9th. Sam Mayer rounded out the top 10 in the first stage. So that is your stage 1 results here in this one, and we will have pit stops during the stage 1 break as well. And we will also have our first diecast showing of the stream. So let me get the camera back on. We'll start off with the non-Busch Series one. So, just no, reason that I'm showing this diecast off. 2002, and this is his Got Milk paint scheme. So there you go, 2002 Terry Labonte, Monte Carlo, Hendrick Motorsports number 5 car. Classic Got Milk paint scheme. Splattered across pretty much the team. All the Kellogg's branded paint schemes for Terry Labonte over the years I always really liked. And this was another one. So one of a few Terry Labonte diecasts. I have 3 of them. Showed the one off last week. Figured I'd show this one off this week. And that'll be our first of 2 diecast showings for today. Usually at the end of stage 2, but I figured stage 1 and stage 2 for this stream. So there is that one. All right, so again, we should be getting pit stops very shortly. And we have them right now, actually.
Stops are underway. Let's start with with the 7 of Justin Allgaier, the stage 1 winner. Said he needs to be just a little bit freer on corner entry, otherwise happy with that car. For Brandon Jones in the 9, he said he fired off tight and got tighter as the run went, so they made an air pressure adjustment for him.
The double zero, Cole Custer, actually a little bit too loose right now for his car. Needs some security. Has the team, give me a little security. I will be better. In the 18 is Sheldon Creed. He is loose into turns 1, tight on the center. That's his main issues he's fighting right now.
Here we go with the race off pit road. Double zero. Able to jump out in front of that group. Now keep in mind, there were those drivers that flipped the stage, so these won't be the drivers that are restart bad pit stall selection. And
so 3 positions lost for Allgaier on pit road. Cole Custer won the race out of the pits, gaining 2 spots. Austin Hill's picker, who's pretty dominant really in the Xfinity Series week in and week out, gaining him 4 positions in the pits right here. So that's definitely going to help him in the positioning order. But as you heard over the broadcast and as we saw with the pit stops on the second class and those that just pitted when we get back to racing here. So we'll see how well that those will be able to hold up when we begin stage 2. So Parker Retzlaff will be the race leader. Then Jesse Love, Caden Honeycutt, Jeb Burton, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Josh Williams. The top 6 stayed out of the pits on this most recent cycle of pit stops during the stage 1 break. And then again, Cole Custer, who won the race off of pit road, will restart back at 7. So we'll see who of those on the fresher tires can get to the front the quickest. Thanks again, you guys are listening live on KRC for this NASCAR Xfinity Series BetRivers 200 coverage at Dover Motor Speedway. Be sure to hit the like button if you guys haven't done so yet. Again, our goal is to get to 100. We're at 49 likes already here just at the end of stage 1. Show us the last half of the raw feed. Yeah, I'll scroll down. We'll take a quick ad break here while we're waiting on that, and then we'll continue our live commentary coverage here for the beginning of stage 2 shortly. Ken Kukowski, thanks for tuning into the stream also. See you in the chat. All right. So again, the top 5 for this upcoming restart is going to be Parker Retzlaff, Jesse Love, Caden Honeycutt, Jeb Burton, Shane Van Gisbergen, and then again, Josh Williams also stayed out of the pits. So they're all going to be restarting towards the front of the field to begin stage number 2. 50 laps in the books, 150 to go. This is our 3rd caution of the race. We're guaranteed at least one more with the stage 2 end. To make this race official, we just have to make it to lap 90, which would be the end of stage 2. Number 29 car of Kyle Sieg stalled out on the racetrack. Blaine Perkins in the 29 this weekend. Blaine Perkins had stalled out on the racetrack in turn 2, so he's getting a tow truck back to pit road. That extended the caution just a few extra laps. But the pace car is now pulling on the pit road, and we'll go green this time by. A lot of Chevys on this strategy of short pitting early in stage 1 to get the track position to begin stage 2. Jesse Love spins the tires on the restart. Same for Retzlaff on the older tires on the front row here. And they'll stay door to door into turns 1 and 2. 3 wide to the outside goes Cole Custer, trying to power by some of those drivers on the older tires just in front of him. And Jesse Love's going to come out with the race lead, getting into turn 3 on the opening lap following the restart to begin second stage. So the 2 car leads the first lap of stage 2. Allgaier boxed in, side by side between the 9 and the 81 in front of him. Jones goes up the racetrack, got very tight in the dirty air behind the 11 in the outside lane. 11 being driven by Josh Williams. Custer now to 4th. Austin Hill to 5th. They're the first of those on the 4 fresh Goodyears. And a lot of others, the 81, the 9, the 7, all boxed in behind all 6 cars that stayed out, as well as a few others that were on 4 fresh Goodyears that did get by at least the first couple cars on old tires. Sheldon Creed, also on fresh tires, has moved to 6th. He's the 3rd highest of those that just pitted. Top 3 are still the ones on 13-lap old tires. We'll see how Custer can get to the front And if he could stay in front of Austin Hill, Brandon Jones still struggling in the outside groove and had to lift quite a bit to keep it off the wall on the exit of turn 4. His teammate Sammy Smith all over his back bumper, and Brandon Jones just all over the place, cannot get in a rhythm here. Continues to lose position after position. The pole sitter is now all of a sudden back at 16th. Shane Van Gisbergen going to lose a spot. He was one of those that just stayed out. Chandler Smith. Brandon Jones still losing spots. Sammy Smith clears him. Near contact on the back straightaway between Ryan Truex and Brandon Jones. Truex maybe washed up off the exit of turn 2 a little too high. And the 20 almost cleared the 9. Not quite. Great run off the high side there by Jones. One thing I will say about Dover, I was able to do it some justice. Especially you get those shots on the entrance to the corner, just off the exit of the corner when they show pretty much the whole straightaway in the visual. And you can see how banked the straightaways are. Part of the reason why they call it a self-cleaning racetrack, where everything that starts at the top of the racetrack when it comes by way of incidences tend to just wash to the bottom. Of course, we saw that with a couple of the wrecks already today, not just in this Xfinity race, but as well through Cup practice and qualifying earlier as well. Always tend to come down the racetrack, so the more you can stay up, the better. Jesse Love, Parker Retzlaff still 1-2 at the front of the field. Custer did get by Jeb Burton recently. For those on the fresher tires, is between Cole Custer and Austin Hill for the eventual top spot, assuming, of course, they get by Love and Retzlaff. Still plenty of time yet to go in stage 2. 30 to go yet in the second stage. Sammy Smith, Ryan Truex, Brandon Jones all working by Shane Van Gisbergen, who did not qualify particularly well today and was running well outside the top 25 before the field flipping strategy. Really, he's just trying to settle himself in line somewhere in the top 20 to make this a net gain of positions, because I believe he was right around 29th when he initially came down onto pit road to try to flip the field. Of course, this is SVG's first start at Dover in a NASCAR Xfinity car, a car in any way, shape, or form at Dover, as he continues to learn racing on ovals in his rookie season in the Xfinity Series and hopes to go Cup racing full-time next season. Seen him in a few races already. Very tight battle for position between AJ Allmendinger and the 92 of Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt on the older tires. Holding on a little bit better than SVG was, but now has fallen outside of the top 10. And Ryan Truex looking to attack on Sammy Smith. Got held up behind Honeycutt for an extra corner. And off the exit of turn 4, Caden going to pull up right in front of the 8. Truex couldn't make the pass and stay underneath the 8, and now the 9 of Brandon Jones looked to get to the inside of Ryan Truex at the end of that last lap. So under the commercial break full screen of Fox Sports 1, Jesse Love is your race leader. 0.3 of a second. He is out in front of Parker Retzlaff in second. Cole Custer's 1.1 seconds back in third. 2.3 seconds back in fourth is Austin Hill. Jeb Burton in fifth, still also on the older tires. He's 3.1 seconds off the lead. Sheldon Creed in sixth, 3.4 seconds off the race leader Love. Riley Hurst 3.6 seconds back in the lead in seventh. Chandler Smith in eighth, 5.6 seconds back. Justin Allgaier in ninth, 7.2 seconds back. And in 10th is AJ Allmendinger, as I just mentioned, as he just passed a couple cars to get to 10th, right where he started, but is 8.4 seconds off the lead. So that is the intervals between the top 10 in the running order. That is your top 10. Average race speed, 88.15 mile per hour in the early going of this one. Still in the first 45 minutes of this race. And in the middle of stage 2 as we run. 3 cautions so far, 2 for incident in the first stage, and then the stage break at lap 45. Incidences were back on lap 5 and lap 25. Third of the way through the race, 67 laps down, 133 still to go. And again, the middle of stage 2. 51 likes on the stream. Sure to hit that like button again if you guys haven't done so yet. Regine Huddleston, thanks for tuning into the stream also. And don't forget that the poll in the chat that is open closes at the end of Stage 2. So again, you have until the end of Stage 2 to vote for who you think will win. 59 votes have been casted so far, 41% taking the race leader, Justin Allgaier. He also won Stage 1 in this, or sorry, he is not the race leader anymore, but he did win Stage 1. 34% of you say somebody other than Allgaier, Truex, or Chandler Smith will win. 10% say Chandler Smith. He was second in the poll there at the very beginning. Now he's the third poll getter. And Ryan Truex having 15% of the votes. That percentage has also dropped a little bit since the last time I checked. And again, 61 votes have been casted so far. You can also change your vote if you choose. 21 laps to go.
Lewis in the news, the power of love.
Perfect. Adam was entertaining us with his impressions of Back to the Future.
When someone said, what's it going to take to find speed and how fast you have to go to win the pole, they said, 1.21 Okay, let's go to Regan.
Now that car has swung the opposite direction. Too loose, in particular, 3 and 4 when he's running the bottom straight forward. Just too loose for him right now. Doesn't love where the car's at right now.
I love what you did there, Regan.
Well, he's going to have to hang on. He's got that clean air, which is probably helping him turn some and made him loose. But Cole Custer is there. He's turning underneath, and Cole has figured out how to run the top line. He's made these huge runs. Tire advantage for sure. It took longer than I think any of us expected for this to happen, for Cole to get to the lead. I thought it would happen a lot sooner than it did.
Yeah, Cole just needed the track to rubber up a little bit to where he could go up there, and we saw the two. He was starting to get really loose running the bottom, and we talked about earlier of how much of a handful it is when you are free trying to run the bottom of the track when it rubbers in. I mean, you see him gaining the center, but then it's so free on exit when it hits the rubber. Look at the run, and look how Custer just pulls him. So, yeah, you're using more tire up there, but Cole is, I think he understands 16 to go, coming to 16 to go, and he's making it work really good. He's really the only guy I see up there making that time.
But what I would say, they had that great rally late in Stage 1. They get some track position. They execute on pit road, which is enormous here, and that's what put them in a spot on this restart to reel in those guys up front and go take the race lead. Other side of that, Justin Allgaier finds himself back in the 9th position right now, Josh.
Well, yeah, Adam, and we saw how strong Justin Allgaier was in Stage 1, winning that stage. Had a little bit of an issue on pit road. They made some slight adjustments to that car, and then Justin came over the radio and said those adjustments went the wrong direction. Not as happy with the car as he was before, so the next time they pit, look for them to go back on those adjustments.
Look, he's pretty loose too. You saw him get to the center of the corner, and the car needs to rotate to point for exit, and the back just came around and over rotates on him. So huge difference, from clean air to dirty air like Justin's in, wanting an adjustment on your car, and also the track changing. I mean, this is probably, I would think, the longest green flag run we've had. So the track is going through a huge swing right now, and drivers are finding out, what their car is doing as this track gets more and more rubber laid down.
14 to go. Stage 2 will take you side by side. Cole Custer, the race leader, in front of Love, Hill, Retzloff, and Freed.
Wasn't expecting them to go to break that quick. I was trying to snack there for a little bit to the end of the stage. I thought they were going to keep the coverage going before then, but they did not. So we'll blow through the running order. Full field this time. Cole Custer currently your race leader. 1.4 seconds ahead of Jesse Love in second. Austin Hill is in third place, 2 seconds off the race lead. All those guys, I should say Jesse Love's still in the older tires yet. So hanging on to second, flipping the field, very good for him. I think he was towards the back half of the top 10 at the end of the first stage. But again, his teammate Austin Hill is in third. Parker Retzlaff is fourth. Sheldon Creed in fifth. AJ Allmendinger is 10th. 11th place for Sammy Smith. Ryan Truex 12th. Brandon Jones 13th. Sam Mayer 14th. Carson Quaffle in 15th. 16th is Corey Heim. Anthony Alfredo 17th. Matt DiBenedetto 18th. Taylor Gray 19th. And Shane Van Gisbergen is 20th. Jeremy Clements in 21st. 22nd is Caden Honeycutt. Parker Kligerman 23rd. Ryan Ellis 24th. Josh Williams 25th. 26th for Kyle Sieg. Daniel Dye 27th. Leland Honeyman 28th. 29th is Now Kyle Weatherman. Garrett Smithley 31st, David Starr 32nd, Patrick Emerly 33rd, Dawson Cramp 34th. Haley Deegan is 4 laps down in 35th with her damage. 3 cars now out of the race today. Blaine Perkins under the stage 1 break had a mechanical failure. He'll finish 36th. Ryan Sieg caught on fire in stage 1, 37th. And J.J. Yaley crashed out on lap 5. Only completing 4 laps today. He'll finish last in 38th. Allgaier still led the most laps after winning stage 1. 34 laps led for him, but Cole Custer, your current race leader, has led 9. And the battle for the free pass position is on as we get closer to the end of stage 1, down to just 8 laps to go in the second stage. See how this works out for him. Lap 83 of 200. A little bit over half the race yet to go. Austin Hill gets by his teammate Jesse Love for second place on the racetrack now. And Cole Custer still trying to navigate through lap traffic as he continues out his lead, nearly 3 seconds ahead of Austin Hill all of a sudden. A little bit of a battle between Hill and Love probably cost them a little bit of time. Carson Quaffle in his second career start in the 88 car for Junior Motorsports. Finished 4th at Martinsville in his debut in the Xfinity Series 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I should say. And 6th, and then Anthony Alfredo up to 16th, just slowly progressing through the field. Problems for the 26 of Corey Heim as he is slow on the racetrack and is making an unscheduled stop.
He's very slow on the pit road, too. Obviously, he's not even on pit road. He's going down the back straightaway. Makes you say it's obviously something wrong with the car.
When we start talking about Carson, he was right behind him in 16th, but now off the pace, going to have to make an unscheduled stop here with 5 to go in the stage. We mentioned Corey because not only is he running today, he'll make his Cup debut tomorrow, driving the 43 for Legacy. And Percy's filling in for Eric Jones, who was injured at Talladega. We send our best to Eric. Hope to see him back soon. Yeah, hopefully Eric hears.
All right, so it's still a battle for 5th on the racetrack going on right now between Sheldon Creed and Justin Allgaier. It's 2 on equal tires with each other. Proctor Retzlaff also doing a good job on those older tires, still in 4th, right in front of the battle for 5th behind him between Creed and Allgaier. About to be a 3-car battle for 4th with 3 to go in the stage. We'll see who can get those extra points as the top 10 all receive stage points at the end of stages 1 and 2. 1 point per position, dependent on where you finish in the stage. Justin Allgaier going way up to the outside of the racetrack. I haven't seen anybody go that high up on the racetrack all day. Custer's been working in that outside lane, but not nearly as high as Allgaier just ran through 3 and 4. 1 and 2, about as high. It's going to allow him to carry a lot more speed off the exit of the corner with the progressive banking at Dover in the center of the turns. Straightaway's not as flat as, say, like a Bristol as far as the concrete ovals with multiple groove racing. So I don't know that necessarily you would get as big of a run here. Now Cole Custer's moved his line up all the way near the wall as well. Racetrack gets cleaned off under caution though with this concrete surface, so it does take a little bit into each run before you can actually move up there, and that's part of the reason why it took Cole Custer as much time as it did for him to get to the lead, but once he got there, he never looked back. Allgaier to the inside of Creed, can't beat him back to the line. 7th. Chandler Smith in 8th, Sammy Smith 9th, and Ryan Truex rounds out the top 10. All within 6.5 seconds of the lead. This is our 4th caution of the day. We didn't have any incidental cautions in stage 2 this time around. And the free pass is going to go to the 28th place driver, Brennan Poole. Came very close to a win at Talladega last week, was battling for the win on the final lap. So good to see Poole back in the lead lap with the free pass with this stage caution. Last year's final stage in Dover went caution-free. Not saying that this year's will, but with that long green flag run all the way through stage 2, you just never know. This race is also now deemed official if we do have any inclement weather this afternoon. We have made it now to the end of stage 2 or halfway per the NASCAR rule book, so there we go. Susan Greenland, thanks for tuning in. Diecast, thanks for tuning in. Who's covering the race? Fox Sports 1 is where you can watch the race today. If you're wondering for visuals, again, Fox Sports 1 is where the race is at. Vlad Impaler, thanks for tuning in. Yep, definitely wishing Eric Jones a speedy recovery as well. Michael Turner, thanks for watching as well. 58 likes on the stream. Our goal, again, is to get to 100. We're just less than halfway through the race, and we are just past halfway to our goal of likes on the stream. So, again, be sure to hit that like button so we can get there before the finish of this one here today. Should have pit stops coming up very shortly. As soon as they come back from this commercial break, you'll get to listen into those pit reports. And as for Cole Custer getting this stage win, I mentioned he was second at the very top of the show in the regular season point standings, trying to catch Chandler Smith. Maybe Custer comes out with the points lead at the end of the day. You never know. This is the second stage win of the year for Cole Custer as well. So again, second stage win of the season for Custer as he wins stage 2 here today at Dover. Allgaier still led the most laps to this point with 34 laps led. Custer with 19. Jesse Love actually led the most laps in stage 2, 21 of his laps led in this stage. Brandon Jones led the first 13 at the start of the race as well. Retzlaff led a few under the caution. Before that restart to begin stage 2, after he had stayed out of the pits, he was the leader initially, but Jesse Love, despite not being the control car, came out with the lead at the end of the first green flag lap, but Retzlaff still held on to 4th. So by way of track position strategy to get those stage points, a good call for the 31 and the 2 team. They were the only 2 of the 6 drivers who stayed out initially at the end of stage 1 to flip the field that actually stayed inside the top 10. They both stayed again in the top 5 and 3rd and 4th.
For the game in your area. Promise. The special bull. I had to slide that in for you. Pit stops coming before they pit here. Any strategy with rain on the way? Do you play any games?
I mean, you can. It'd be pretty risky for sure. I think the rain's still 15-20 minutes out. It sounds like maybe you got 45 laps on your tires. I think you got to come in and you see all of them heading right here.
Yeah. They're heading your way, Josh.
Yeah, let's start with the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Said that last run, it felt way rougher, a little more bouncier with that car. They're going to go back a little bit on the adjustments from before for the 7. As far as the 21 of Austin Hill, he said the short run needs a little help in terms of rear security. The long run, good in that car. Regan?
The 00 leader Cole Custer right now is pretty good overall. Didn't have too many complaints, but he did say around lap 25 his car gave up too much grip at both ends of the racetrack. And the 2 of Jesse Love, we talked about how he was loose earlier on. It did tighten back up for him and stayed loose off. They're going to actually adjust for the racetrack. They think it's going to get considerably tighter as the track keeps going.
And now the race off pit road. Cole Custer won the first time down when the leaders made them stops at the end of stage 1. He'll win it again here.
Justin Allgaier's crew, nice bounce back, plus 3 spots there.
They're level on the day. They lost 3, they gained 3, and he is 3rd coming off the pit lane behind Custer and Hill. We're ready for the final stage and some of the key players at the front. Great restart coming your way from Dover.
Interesting, as you heard from the broadcast there, that there's potential rain on the way. So 15 to 20 minutes out, again, we have gotten past our scheduled distance to make this race official, so that's a good sign. We have our second diecast showing before we get back to racing here. Now that we're during our traditional stage 2 break. Let me get the camera back up. I'm back. All right, this one is an actual Xfinity car, or at least a classic one. At the time, it was the Busch Series, and this is from 2004, and this is one of my favorite Xfinity Series diecasts of all time. It is the Reese's number 21 Chevrolet for Kevin Harvick. Again, 2004 season. And game streams. I ran this car in the very same season of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. Would have been the 2004 season. You guys voted for me to drive as Harvick. Won the championship in the Busch Series that year with this paint scheme the whole season, so I figured it was kind of fitting for me to get it when I did. And I think I got it at Bristol during the dirt race back in 2022, I do believe. Actually, I might have even gotten this the year before at Bristol in 21 during the night race. Well, one of the two. I definitely got this at Bristol. And this is one of the first diecasts that I got in the 124 scale collection. It's one of the cleanest ones I have. Like the orange car. Growing up, when I raced like quarter midgets and go-karts and stuff, the cart was always orange or black. So I like it. It pops pretty well. Reese's schemes are always good. I like the Allgaier's Reese's scheme he's had in the Xfinity series here and there over the last year or two when he's not running the Brandt colors on the car for that weekend. So that is the diecast showing for today. And as we wrap that up, I will also wrap up the poll that is open in the chat for who you think is going to win this race today. And we'll see what the poll ended up coming out to be. So it looks like 72 votes. 39% going to Justin Allgaier. Make that 40%. 73 votes here. 40% of you say Justin Allgaier of the 73 votes is going to win this race today. Looks like 74 votes right as I closed it. So 40% say Allgaier is going to win. 36% for other. It was a very close poll. 14% of you say Ryan Truex will win. 8% for Chandler Smith. We'll see how that's going to end up working itself out. Ryan Truex is my pick. He's really been nowhere to be found in this one. And so Justin Allgaier continuing onward. Lincoln Kim Hollingsworth, thanks for tuning in as well. That was number 21 for Harvick on that diecast. Number 21 car. Ended up winning the championship 2 years later in that car, 2006. Won some races in 04, though. We'll take our second ad break as we're about halfway through this one. You're listening live to the BetRivers 200 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Dover.
Well, their pit crew did their part. They came down pit road. They put them back out front. Now it's about to start. And, Austin Hill looks pretty strong at the end of the run. Here's the weather. Obviously, there is rain on the way, and it is very, very close. And you see a little bit of yellow in there, too, Ryan. That's usually not a good sign either. So
We need
pretty
green,
heavy rain.
We need green on track, not on the radar.
That's right. We see Cole take the top. So we've kind of seen a mixture of leader taking bottom or top, so we'll see how good of a launch he can get. As we have with two dash for Cashers, lined up really close to the groups in line.
Well, this reset's going to look like a restart with maybe 20 laps to go. It's going to be very intense. Everyone's going to take every run, trying to be super aggressive. They know the win is right here in front of them.
Yeah. Justin Allgaier did the same thing that he did the initial start of the race. Be able to roll the top super fast, pick up a row, and now I think we have the two best cars running 1-2 right now.
Riley Hurst able to cut through fourth.
Real loose.
Look at that. Opens the door for the 21 of Austin Hill down to the inside. Racing for the runner-up spot as the 0-0 of Cole Custer starts to pull away out front.
Neither one can afford to give up the spot right here. They're both going to really fight hard for second place.
Jesse Love enters the party. Look at him riding that low lane.
Austin Hill just hanging down there at the bottom. Going to get position a little bit into the corner. Justin doing a good job rolling that top, pitching him on the exit, trying to carry that momentum. Not enough to clear it, though.
Not quite get cleared. We talk about the bottom being preferred, especially for the first handful of laps. Everyone fighting for the bottom. Justin's trying to hold him as tight as he can, but being smart about it, not really taking all the air off of him. But you see Cole just driving away. He's almost got 2 seconds on these guys. It just shows you how much slower you run when you're side by side, 2x2 like that.
They got the whole field stacked up behind them, just getting closer and closer to him. Justin's got it clear. Riley Hurts almost got it clear.
Look at Sammy Smith. 8 car for Junior Motorsports outside lane.
I said it, guys. This was going to be an intense restart. No one's going to be given here. There's no give and take. It's take and take for sure right now.
No intensity for Cole Custer. Look out. There goes Jesse Love trying to hang on to it. Ryan Truex was underneath of him, and right as we cut away there, right? Yeah, the 20 just clipped the apron on the inside of the 2, enter in turn 1, and got him loose, you know, and with the 2 close to him like that, it just made it worse, and they made a little contact there. Truex with about his best running position of the day after qualifying 12th, he's 7th. Here's our Toyota on board right behind his teammate Sheldon Creed.
18 in line with you. There, he's trying to pull it back. Does it go into the corner? He just got loose into the corner, right? Truex got loose into the corner, chased it up right into the door of Jesse Love. And nothing Jesse could do there.
With Ryan Sieg out of the race, and now Jesse Love making his unscheduled pit stop and dropping back and going a lap down. Big opportunity for Riley Herbst to win the $100,000. He's 3rd right now, and the only other driver you see highlighted in purple on our pylon, Anthony Alfredo, started at the rear, driving to the front. He's 11th right now, that R Motorsports Chevrolet.
That $100,000, I mean, it is big for every team, don't get me wrong. But if Anthony Alfredo and that team can get that $100,000, I mean, that is huge for sure. Well, $100,000 is big to anybody, let's be honest. But
it'd be 2 weeks in a row, though, where somewhat of an underdog team is able to win the money, with Ryan Sieg doing it last week at Talladega, and if Anthony Alfredo could do it here today, right?
Anthony Alfredo, he's had a really good last week. You know, last week he ran great in the Xfinity race, ran great in the Cup race. You know,
here's Alfredo in 11th, 3rd on Saturday last week, as you said, 6th on Sunday, and back-to-back top 10s right here in the Xfinity car. Over halfway home in Dover, Delaware. Cole Custer is the man out front.
As you've heard over the broadcast, rain is on the way. At Dover, we are past halfway, past the end of stage 2 mark, so it would make the race official. It doesn't look like it will clear out of that anytime soon. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this race unfolds. An aggressive battle in the restart between Allgaier and Austin Hill really allowed for Cole Custer to get out to a fairly lengthy lead. Custer 2.6 seconds out ahead of Justin Allgaier, now in 2nd. Riley Herbst is currently 3rd. Sammy Smith in 4th, Austin Hill 5th, Sheldon Creed in 6th, Ryan Truex 7th, Carson Quaffle is 8th, AJ Allmendinger 9th, Chandler Smith is 10th. Anthony Alfredo in 11th, Brandon Jones 12th, Jeb Burton 13th, Sam Mayer 14th, Parker Retzlaff 15th, Taylor Gray 16th, 17th is Parker Kligerman, Kyle Weatherman 18th, Caden Honeycutt 19th, 20th is Kyle Sieg. Jeremy Clements in 21st, Ryan Ellis 22nd, Daniel Dye 23rd, Brennan Poole 24th, Leland Honeyman 25th, Shane Van Gisbergen 26th. He is the last car in the lead lap. Josh Williams, the first car lap down in 27th. David Starr 28th, Patrick Emmerle 29th, Garrett Smithley 30th, Dawson Cramp 31st, Jesse Love 32nd, had to make that unscheduled pit stop on the restart after having a flat left rear after contact with another race car. So again, 2 laps down to 32nd is Jesse Love. Haley Deegan is 5 laps down with damage in 33rd. Matt Benedetto had an issue towards the end of the last stage, so he is now in 34th, 8 laps down. 4 cars out of the race right now. Corey Heim with a mechanical failure of some sort. Blaine Perkins also with a mechanical failure, out 35th, 36th for them. Ryan Sieg caught fire, 37th. He's out of the race. And J.J. Haley crashed out and is in last and 38th. So that is your full field running order rundown in the BetRivers 200. Current average race speed of 95.54 miles per hour. We'll continue our live commentary coverage of this NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Dover on KRC. You're listening live. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, comment throughout the chat. Keep up with it. And we'll also keep up with the rain looming in. And this race could be official really at any moment here.
Xfinity Series for the 78th time with a couple of NASCAR champions, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney. I'm Adam Alexander. On the pit lane, Regan Smith and Josh Sims. Lap 116 of 200 going on the board. Cole Custer won the second stage, won the race off pit road. He is in charge of the field right now. Justin Allgaier, who won stage 1, is second. Riley Herbst leads the way when it comes to the dash for cash. He's third right now. And we do our Toyota top performers. Got a handful of drivers that have been impressive today. Shelton Creed is 7th. Ryan Truex has worked his way to 8th. Not the weekend that Chandler Smith probably would have wanted. Didn't have as much speed as they had anticipated yesterday in practice. Our championship leader coming in is 11th, and Taylor Gray spent some time in the top 10 early. He's 16th right now.
You know, pretty surprising there. You know, you look at JGR cars in the past here at Dover, always has been very, very strong. And you see right there, really all 4 of them, not that good this time. Kind of interesting to see that. Maybe they've gone down a different direction, or some other things have changed that we don't know about.
14 wins here for Joe Gibbs Racing. That's the most of any organization. 2 of those courtesy of Joey Logano, 2012.
There you go. Got those.
I want to talk about Carson Quapple. Up to P6. He's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Last 3 laps, he has been like at the 10th. The 10th Bentley. I know he's 7 seconds behind the leader, but he's, I mean, put together a great run here at Dover. I mean, we talked about it on Martinsville. Ran really well, finished awesome. And he's done a good job today, you know, of not having a ton of laps here. You know, he ran the ARCA race yesterday, so he had, you know, a little bit of experience, but Xfinity cars are completely different, right? How it rubbers in, how they drive. So he's done a good job just getting a little better through the race, picking his way through there. And I can't say enough about him. I mean, really, really impressive here in his first couple starts.
He's definitely hoping that this thing goes green and does not see the rain coming in the future, right? He's got a really fast car. He's figured out how to make speed with it, like you said, Ryan. Now he just needs the rest of the race, right? He's figured out how to go fast. He just needs the race to make up the rest of it.
Saw Parker Kligerman there. Quiet day for him in the 48. 16th right now. Driving for Big Michigan. But they had to add Dogs of War. Their new their new single is #1 globally on iTunes.
Really?
Some good news for Motley Crue.
Still making music.
Yes.
Pretty amazing.
The running order.
Taking care of it, what you're doing. You're doing good to stay focused, hit the same mark.
Devil's definitely going to run it long. The other thing I thought there, too, is when your car starts getting loose here at Dover, it's important to not just keep overdriving it lap after lap. You have to just check up for a minute, try to cool it off, unless it's just going to get freer and freer and freer, and it'll never stop. It'll just fall off a cliff. You got to eventually just check up at the end of this run, and I'm able to just maintain at least where I'm at.
Teammates racing for position here. 81 Chandler Smith trying to get 8th right now and coming up a bit short with Ryan Truex. What's the story there, Regan?
Adam, an uncharacteristically quiet day for Chandler Smith to this point. They've been fighting the same thing all day long, though.
Doesn't get it, falls to 10th because Allmendinger's able to get by. I want to go back to Sammy Smith for a second. We saw him in the 8 car up in the 4th position. He's from Iowa. And they had some really bad weather out there last couple of days. Tornadoes, Iowa, Nebraska, throughout the heartland. So our thoughts to everyone back near his hometown.
Yeah, so we saw Cole Custer got out to a pretty good lead, you know, pretty solid, pretty comfortable, you know, and he's working through a little of that traffic, not a lot. He's got some pretty clear racetrack here for the next little bit. But Justin Allgaier, we saw, he didn't fire off very good, you know, and he lost some spots. He was battling the 21 car super hard. He was battling the 98 a little bit, and now he's separated himself. And the last 2 or 3 laps, he has been 2 tenths. He was 3 tenths quicker than Custer this past lap. Cut it down to 2.5 seconds. If we run this thing long, like I feel like everyone's going to, just because there's weather, they're going to run it all the way to the end of the pit window. You know, can Allgaier cut in a little bit to that lead, and we'll see how good his car is here in the long run.
I would tell you that if the caution came out right now and there was no threat of rain, everybody pits, right? But unfortunately, we got rain coming, and that means it's anybody's guess how this thing will play out if we do get a caution. Could be some strategy. We'll see what unfolds. There's that good-looking paint scheme for Big Machine Racing. Motley Crue on the hood. So let's do a little Motley Crue as we head to break. 71 to go in Dover.
70 laps left at Dover in the BetRivers 200 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Your top 10 in the running order. Cole Custer leads by 2.5 seconds over Justin Allgaier in second. Riley Herbst is in third. Sammy Smith fourth. Austin Hill fifth. Carson Quaffle in sixth. Sheldon Creed seventh. Ryan Truex eighth. AJ Allmendinger ninth. And Chandler Smith rounds out the top 10. So with that being the top 10 in the running order currently, it is interesting to see how this Xfinity Series race is going to unfold down the stretch as we have, again, rain on the horizon. I don't know if we're going to get the full 200 laps in. I mean, that seems to not be in the question. It seems like the rain will get here before that. It'll be interesting if that isn't going to be the case. And it'll also be interesting that even if it does rain short, can they get to the end of this fuel window? Because if not, you're going to see drivers really trying to stretch this fuel window as far as they possibly can. And that could create another random winner. I mean, you look at the drivers up at the front of the field right over the course of this run, very quietly. He was 15th at the end of stage 2. And during the course of the early going to stage 3, he is charging forward. Great run in that 88 car and just his second career Xfinity start. He could go 2 for 2 and 2 top 5s in his first 2 Xfinity starts at 4th at Martinsville a couple weeks ago. So, again, credit to. So a little under an hour and a half into this race, just off the drop of the green flag, and again down to 67 laps to go. Custer with a 2.1 second advantage as Allgaier continues to run 2 to 3 tenths of a second quicker a lap. Some of that is Justin just getting through the lap traffic a little bit better than Cole Custer, but same time, though, they're all having to fight through not only the same traffic, but maybe there's just a chance that Custer's car with the tire wears falling off quicker than that of Justin Allgaier. We've seen about a second and a half or so of fall off at this point in the run.
Good racing all around here as we anticipate some rain heading toward Dover, Delaware. Cole Custer leads, racing for position. That's 7th on the line. You saw Creed and Truex going at it. Allmendinger hanging around. The advantage now 1.3 seconds for Custer.
Wow, that's it.
Second place, Justin Allgaier. There are the teammates going at it for 7th.
We're getting to the point of the run. Custer's starting to run into some lap traffic. You know, I mean, it's this place gets wide, but it's also slick. You know, and it's and how he works his way through lap traffic is going to be tough. And he's going to really have to figure out, all right, what do I need to do? Do I need to go back up to the high line? You know, he's kind of been running the bottom mainly this run, whereas before we saw his strength running up the racetrack. So I'd be curious to see, hey, what is my car maybe not doing as good now to where I don't feel as comfortable running up there?
Yeah, you see Jesse Love right behind him there. He's got, I don't know, 7, 8 laps newer. 7, that is reeling him in. So, you know, I do think at one point when this track was green, they were chasing that tan, right, where there was no rubber, very, very high up the racetrack. That's where Cole Custer was the strongest at the end of the second stage. Now, it's rubbered up there, right? So the grip is kind of gone. It's rubbered up everywhere. And it's migrated back to the bottom. If you're one of the best cars, you're running the very, very bottom again. And it doesn't seem like the 00 is quite as strong as he was. And you see the traffic there in front of him.
Brennan Poole, last car on the lead lap. He wants to stay in that position, depending on how things play out with cautions. He doesn't want to lose a lap here, so we'll see how hard he races the 00. Not at all. Custer drives right by him. I thought maybe he would hold him up with the door for Allgaier, and he does not.
That's definitely a lot of traffic. When you go back to how much this track changes, too, there's not a track that changes more with rubber than this. So much grip, you're like, how do I have this much grip? And then you fast forward 30 laps into the run, and you were sliding everywhere, and you're like, how do I have no grip?
Yeah, just like in qualifying, you know, for our cars, like the track is pretty green, it's bare, and the amount of grip we had in qualifying is just unbelievable, you know. And then you get to the race, and the track rubbers up like this, and you're like, how did I have this much grip 30 laps ago, and now I'm hanging on for dear life? So these concrete tracks are super finicky.
59 to go. Here's Cole Custer radio.
Somewhere around 160, mid 150 to 160 before the rain gets here. Just keep fighting hard.
Okay. Well, see, it's so hard. I mean, being a crew chief, think about how hard this is, ladies and gentlemen. Like, You got to sit there and try to call this race. Looked at a radar, I'm sure everyone has. It's not always like consistent, right? Like, and there's a little delay. Like, it updates every 3 to 5 minutes, and you're like, oh wow, it changes. All of a sudden, there's a pocket now, and we're not getting rained on. And you would have thought for sure we were gonna get rained on. It's very hard for crew 10 right now, right? But I don't think you can do that if you look at the radar.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to lose so much time if you hit under green before everybody and ends up raining. You know, then you're hosed, right? So you have to figure out. I feel like you just got to run it as long as possible, especially if you're the top 2 guys. You know, even the top 5 or so, you got to run it as long as you possibly can.
And you see the pylon. Everyone pitted into stage 2. That was 51 laps ago. And the fuel window somewhere between 85 and 90 laps. So they got a long way to go before they're going to have to make a pit stop.
Who doesn't have a long way to go? Justin Allgaier to get the lead. Cole has run up on these cars running 3 different lanes than him. Jesse Love's trying to get his lap back, so he is faster because he has newer tires than
Van Gisbergen trying to stay on the lead lap.
Van Gisbergen, you know, the 92 trying to stay on, you know, his lap. So, I mean, Cole is in a hornet's nest right now, and Justin's trying to pounce on it.
He got to Brennan Poole, drove right by him. That was a bit of a ride for Allgaier, but he is right there on his back bumper now.
Well, it gets harder the more cars you lap, you know, because each car that you lap further up towards the field is faster. Yeah, that was big right there. You know, Cole was able to get by both of those lap cars in one corner.
Yeah, getting the twofer right there. That was a huge deal. You see the gap he put on Justin Allgaier just in one straightaway. And now Justin still has to get by the 97, the same thing. Gisbergen, so that was a big, like, sigh of relief for Cole Custer.
Racing for the lead, could be racing for a win as we anticipate sometime maybe next 10 laps or so we could get some rain here at Dover.
Right, and the 97 is not going to make it easy on Justin, right? He's trying to stay in touch with the 00 because the more cars, 00 is going to go up and lap this 51. Shane has to make sure he's the first car lap down to be the lucky dog. So Shane just isn't going to roll over, and he doesn't have to, you know, just because second's trying to pass him.
Oh, I see right there, the 00 still really good at kind of just pivoting right in the center of the corner to turn underneath Jeremy Clements there to get him down a lap. His car is pretty versatile, and that's what's going to help him work this traffic. There's times here you can have a really fast car, but it's only fast in one lane. That's all well and good until somebody's in your lane. You have to have a car that can move around the racetrack. It looks like Cole has that.
20 cars on the lead lap. Jeremy Clements, 21st, just went a lap down. Next car Custer will see will be Daniel Dye. Think about the year for Cole Custer, coming off a championship. Didn't win last year in his championship season until June. But already this year, if you look at the numbers, laying the first 9 races in 2023 over what he's done so far, defending his title, Custer has been better this season and leading more laps today than he's led in any other race so far this year. 79 out front for the 00.
Let's ride with Cole for a lap and just listen to the throttle of this thing, how much he has to play with it through the corner. You're like, the corners are so long, you go back to like 60%, you back up to like 20, go back, and like it's
Clear, all clear.
You're trying to set it up to all be low right there at the exit of the corner. If you start drifting it up too much at the 2/3 point of the corner, that last little bit of the corner, which is coming right here, you got to be in good position right there. If you're too high and pointing towards the wall, when you come up out of that hole right there, and you're not pointing in the right direction, pow, into the fence really, really fast. That's all about getting that point and then throttle him out.
And sometimes you have to do it like you see him get kind of squirt gas to it in the middle, and then he has to back out to get the car reset, you know? So he has to make time in the middle, but he can't just carry that throttle the whole way, or his car's just going to, you know, get out of shape and he's going to be out of the groove. So it's such an interesting throttle position here. I think more than any other track that we go to, of how much you're actually playing with it. Maybe in other tracks like at Homestead, when you're on the wall, you kind of play with it more, but it was just fascinating for everyone at home to hear that.
And there's 2 completely different ways of driving the track here. There's some that lift early and wrap the bottom and do what you're saying, Ryan, just a little bit of throttle. There's others that just ship it into the corner really hard, get it pointed, go up the racetrack, and come back down.
Custer leads, Allgaier in his hip pocket. Here's 7 radio.
For the win right here, Eddie. It's got to happen soon. How far out's the race? 2 miles. stay on it now. We're looking at weather here. So.
And I don't think Allgaier's mindset would change if the weather was close or not. You know, I mean, 45 to go. He's working his tail off. I mean, he's trying his hardest to get the lead, whether it's going to go run full 200 laps or it's going to get cut short by a little bit. He's on full attack mode right now.
The bottom line is, regardless of the circumstance, you want to be in control of the race, right?
Yeah.
I mean, under these circumstances, you definitely want to be up front because you know it could rain and the race would be over. But as you said, Allgaier's getting after it regardless of what we face here today.
100%. You look at how he's just able to slowly reel him in all the way through turns 3 and 4 right there. That car is better than Cole Custer's right now. Right there, he's going to get a little bit of air. He's going to just try to close up that gap a little bit more as Cole ran a little bit higher, passing the 15 there for that car. This is going to just be a little inch by inch by inch. He's going to have to reel him in.
Regan?
Adam, things getting pretty stressful inside of that 00 car right now. We know we've got rain in the air. It's area. Take a listen.
Caution, it is yellow.
Caution is out, and you see the rain on the windshield for race leader Cole Custer.
It probably was raining for a few laps, but when you're leading this thing, you're like, it's pouring.
It's pouring.
It is pouring.
No grip out here. I don't know if crew chief Jonathan Toney is a dancer, but he might have been doing the rain dance down there. They needed that.
Allgaier's like, it's fine. There's no rain out here.
Now, how does NASCAR make that call, right? Because you think the NASCAR officials that are making that decision, they're sitting in a booth like we are. We can't tell if it's raining or not. Neither can they. They're relying off of, maybe the pace car driver, maybe the flag man saying if it's raining.
Some of their spotters, right?
Right. And then you listen to some of the drivers over the radios, and let's be honest, when you're going 150 miles an hour, a little bit of rain looks like it's pouring because you're carrying so much speed.
Yeah.
So, and then you can't wreck cars either.
Exactly.
But you don't want to put it out too early to where, fans aren't going to see racing. So I'd say this is the point that is probably correct.
Going to be 40 laps to go this time around to the scheduled distance. Cole Custer leading Justin Allgaier in our 5th caution of the day for rain.
But now this is a tough spot, too. What if the rain don't pick up right now?
Do you pit? Do you stay
What do
out?
you do? Right? This is what they're talking about right now.
19 cars on the lead lap right now.
They're hoping it pours, so at least there's a decision made. This light sprinkle thing's like, boy, if they go back green, I don't know. And now we're here. They may open pit road. This is such a hard call because if you don't pit, you're going to have to pit later. You'll lose all your track position. But you can't look at that radar and say it's not going to rain.
So Jonathan Toney was celebrating, and now he's like, "Are you kidding me? Pit road is open." There he is, JT.
I think if you're at the back of the lead lap, you stay out. I mean, the leaders might stay out too. I feel like you got to stay out.
You got to stay out.
Yeah, you have to.
I think. But they can't make it to lap 200, but I don't think they're racing to lap 200.
Yeah.
Stay out. We're going to stay out. You're sure? Not raining much.
It rained enough to produce the caution. The rain is let up. Pit road opens.
Oh, boy.
Boy, no shot fake.
98.
Riley Herbst pits. Austin Hill, Carson Quapple, and others. So we have some takers. Josh?
For the 21 of Austin Hill, he said that car is just too loose. He's sliding the fronts on exit. He just can't do what he wants to do with that car late in the runs. Needs some help with that. Regan?
Well, it sounded out like auctioneers on the radios just a moment ago. Guys deciding if they're going to pit or stay out. The 98 car of Riley Herbst, one of those that decided they would go ahead and take some tires right now. He needs a little bit of help in traffic. It fired off better on the last run, but still needs help in traffic with his.
Big thing about Riley Herbst making a pit stop, he was leading the way of those drivers going for the dash for cash. So that's another item to watch in the final 40 laps. We're watching the radar. We're watching the activity on track. So many storylines unfolding here late at Dover. Am I going to pit? Nah, I'm going to stay above that orange box. The restart when we return.
So caution for rain, but it looks like it has cleared out quickly, and a lot of drivers stayed out on the racetrack, did not pit, though they cannot make it on fuel to the end. and we're down to just 39 laps to go, so you wonder how much further they can go on fuel, and will we get a torrential downpour before the finish of this race, resulting in those drivers that stayed out to make the right call. It is going to be very interesting to see how this is going to work. Now, we do know that Austin Hill, Carson Quaffle, AJ Allmendinger, Sheldon Creed, some of those other drivers, they ended up hitting pit road. I believe Hill in 10th would be the highest in the running order. Actually, no, Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst in 9th place would be the highest in the running order of those that pitted. So only the top 8 cars stayed out of the pits. They're going to have much older tires than everybody in 9th on back. There's a chance that 9th on back can race their way to the front here before the rain comes as well if we get back to racing. It is going to be very interesting. It rained. It kind of let up. Pit road open. We're expecting a restart all of a sudden now. Will we get it is the question. And then when we get back to green, how much more racing will we get before we get the actual rainstorm that is projected to hit this Dover Motor Speedway before the end of this race? This is definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. How long can these guys go on fuel before they have to pit if the rain doesn't come? The webpage timed out. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So Cole Custer, Austin Hill. Hang on, no, that's not the right. There we go. Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, Chandler Smith, Parker Kligerman is your top 5 on the restart. All stayed out of the pits. But again, there is much older tires on their race cars than everybody else behind him. And the cars that pitted behind him can make it on fuel to the end. That we do know. Everybody else, though, that stayed out, they definitely can't make it. And they are 2x2. They are getting ready for this restart. The rain had let up. There's a car that has just stalled out on the back straightaway, which is going to delay this restart one more lap, it appears, as they get a push truck to whoever that was that stalled out on the back straightaway. 71 likes on the stream. Be sure to hit the like button if you guys haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content if you guys haven't. We're down the home stretch here at Dover. Rain on the way. 37 laps to go. Will we get this restart in?
More mad than that, apparently. So we thought we were going to go green. They've added a lap. That's good news for Custer because the reason they added the laps is we're getting rain again.
And Sammy Smith just pulled on pit road. I think he's out of gas.
Okay.
But then we just saw more rain on Custer's camera. So are these guys close on gas? Like, is the 7, the 00?
I wonder if they're idling around, right? And the pickup's on the far right side of the box.
Now they've given the one to go again. So the top 5 drivers, or the top 6 rather, stayed out here.
Those raindrops could be from before.
Yeah, the 8 car ran out of gas. Yeah, I mean, the banking is huge here, right? You don't normally run on the apron like Talladega.
I don't understand, though. I mean, and I know you talk about the pickup and all that, but we really weren't all that close on the fuel window. You know, that's...
Maybe they didn't get completely
full.
It's
got to be, right?
Possibly on the last pit stop as well. He's almost stopped on pit road. The lights are back on the pace car. We did see the water on the windshield under caution here, and that, I mean, I was a little bit nervous when they were about to go green, if I was being honest here, so...
I don't know if Jonathan Toney was dancing before, but he should be dancing now.
It definitely is now.
Imagine if he did pit right there and it did rain right here and he would have gave the race away
right.
to Justin Allgaier if it rains down. I mean, it's such a hard call. Like I said, you're making a call off the weather radar and assuming we're going to go green in a certain amount of time. All that stuff is very, very hard to do.
Going to be a fun finish tomorrow on FS1, the NASCAR Cup Series, right here at the Monster Mile. At 2, it's all on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Looking forward to this tomorrow. The Worth 400 on FS1. We've talked about it with these guys today. For you tomorrow, this is a tough place to go out and get it done.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard. It is a long 400 laps for sure around this place. We talked about how much the track changes here for the Xfinity cars. The same's going to be for us. I can't say we really know what we're going to have tomorrow because the track's going to be so different. The sun's supposed to be out tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be beautiful, but the track's going to take so much rubber tomorrow, Ryan, that it's hard for me to say if what we got in our race car right now.
Yeah, it is really difficult, and you see that we've talked about the transition of the track through the run all day today, and tomorrow when the sun's out, it's going to be even more, right? So in our cup practice, we didn't really lay rubber down. It kind of marbled and, just kind of spit rubber chunks off the sides, and that's going to change tomorrow when the sun gets out and the track gets a little bit darker. So I don't know. This is one of the toughest places. I scratch my head more Saturday nights here going into the Sunday race to try to figure out what to do for the race from practice more than anywhere. So very difficult place, but it should be a beautiful day out tomorrow, and it'll be a good one for sure.
We're talking about racing on Sunday. Let's revisit some of your Saturday success here, because the two of you have been really good at Dover in the Xfinity car. Joey, we mentioned earlier, you won 2 of those races for Joe Gibbs Racing in 12. You came back and swept the season in 13 for Team Penske, 4 in a row.
It was good.
And then in 17, Blaney, you win, and then you give the flag to a fan. It kind of began a new tradition in NASCAR.
That was the first time I did that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Really cool to kind of start to try. I don't really know where I came up with that. I'm sure someone's done it in the past, but it was good. I was trying to make a memory for a kid that lasts a lifetime, and that's what I've been doing. The biggest problem with that, I just have to win more to give away more checkered flags.
But you were telling me that you've actually now, over the years, met fans who you've given the flag to. That is so cool, the residual impact of that.
I'll meet their parents, obviously meet the kid. Do you remember giving, my son, my daughter this flag at this race, and just a really cool kind of full circle thing. And it's cool to see, the kids grow up from 5 years ago when I gave them a checkered flag to what they are now. It's just, it's one of those special things, right? And these guys are signing relief right now.
Oh. They're going to bring him down pit road.
Yes. It's like, thank God. you make the wrong call here, and then they go down pit road, just all fingers are pointed to one person, So that is a sigh of relief for the crew chief of Cole Custer and that 00 team.
Ford has not won this season, but in position here today. We've got rain at Dover. Cole Custer is your race leader as they come down pit road, Regan.
At Cole Custer's crew chief, Jonathan Toney. I don't know that you've had a race quite this stressful this year. What's your take on everything going on right now? I imagine you think it's monsooning right now, don't you?
Man, I tell you what, I think it's going to rain till tomorrow, I'd say. Ain't no way we're going to go back green. Iggy and Taylor and everybody's done a good job keeping up with the weather for us here today. And, it's just like gambling. We'll just see how it plays out here.
If we do get back going, how are you guys on fuel? I know that's got to be tight.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close here on fuel. So, I'd like to say, I think it's going to rain. Ain't no way we're going back green.
Thanks, Jonathan.
It's funny. We didn't even talk about weather being a factor today when he and I met in his hauler this morning. And he said, this place gives me heartburn. Because there are so many scenarios that can play out in the final stage here. You add the unknown of weather, and here we are.
Here we are at the light rain, right? This isn't, the drivers aren't even getting out of the car. This is a park. Hang on a minute. Maybe we'll get this back in. So this is just the holding pattern right now.
We had a crazy top 10 last week at Talladega. Some of the names in the top 10 here. Parker Kligerman up there, not a huge surprise, but Kyle Sieg in the top 10, and a great day going for Carson Quapple. We're back in a moment.
Under a commercial break and under red flag here with 33 laps to go due to rain. And again, we are well past the scheduled distance, so if they do make this race official, then the current running order that you see would be the finishing results of this race. Cole Custer is currently a race leader. Justin Allgaier is second. Chandler Smith third. Parker Kligerman fourth. And Kyle Sieg is in fifth. The top 6 on the leaderboard are all drivers that would have to pit if we did end up getting back to racing. Again, it's not a hard rain at this point. They have not put the covers on the cars yet. As soon as that rain picks up and they lose the racetrack in that scenario, I think there's a very good chance that this race is going to be official at that point. So we did not get to, obviously, the scheduled distance of 200 laps, but again, we are past halfway and or past the end of stage 2, which would have been lap 90 in this one, halfway lap 100. But we got to both distances. We'll see how this is going to end up playing out here over the next several minutes, really, on whether they are going to end up having to put the covers back on the cars or not. And fitting that this would be the way that Justin Allgaier loses another race this season. Second, right behind Custer. Caution comes out for rain. I mean, Oh man, it's just I kind of had that feeling. I didn't say anything over the commentary, but I was like, if this race rains short, I don't think Allgaier wins because that's just the way his season's gone, and that looks to be the case here today. Despite winning stage 1, he led 34 laps. Cole Custer, though, who won stage 2, has led the most laps, 95 of the 167 laps led so far, so well over half the race to this point. And Custer's done a great job, obviously, out in front of the field here in this one. So they split the stage wins. Cole Custer has not won a race yet this season. Him and Allgaier, front two positions, have not won, so a win would lock them into the playoffs. And we'll see how that goes. 19 cars are on the lead lap. I'll let you listen into more of the broadcasts when they come back from the commercial breaks. That way, if we do get an official word on whoever they win this race, and you guys will get to get verified on that. Sharita Cooper, Easy Network, cooked like a pro. Thanks for tuning in. Only sport that doesn't make up for rain. They just end it. Don't like that. Well, no, other sports do. Other sports do that if they're past halfway. It's the same thing for NASCAR. They try to make it up. They'll make the race up by like running the next day. But if they're past halfway, or the end of stage 2, I guess in this case, then they'll end it. Any other sport, if it's past halfway and it is like a torrential downpour and there's, no way that waiting out the rain they're going to be able to get it in that day, then yeah, they'll call it. I've been at a couple of, I'm a Detroit Tigers fan when it comes to baseball. I've actually been to a baseball game where it was rain short and they were in the middle of the 8th inning. Detroit was up it was a high scoring game that day. It was like 12-7 or 12-8, something like that. So yeah, they were up. They were past halfway. It rained for a couple hours, and then they ended up calling it because there wasn't really any window to get the game in the rest of that night. So had to turn around and play again at 1 o'clock the next day. So yeah, I mean they call it. I've seen football games like that too. If there's lightning, more so it's lightning. Football kind of passes through, so not so much the case there, but yeah, I've seen it before with other sports, so that they call it early. Yeah, most sports gets past halfway. They can make it official.
Got our 5th caution of the day here at Dover for rain. That has led to a red flag. Cole Custer is leading as all the cars have pulled down pit road, and we sit and wait. Let's flash back 2019. It was a great year here for Cole Custer. He had a pole here and finished inside the top 5. Also was able to get a win. In fact, you look at the last 7 races here for Custer. He has been unbelievable. Stats very similar to what Justin Allgaier has put up at this place. And here we are today. They're running 1-2 as we wait out the rain. Let's dial up the 00.
Let's talk to Cole. Cole, Custer, Joey Logano, Blaney, Adam Alexander up here in the Fox booth. You got us?
I got you guys.
Well, I'm sure from your windshield, I mean, you probably can't even see where you're going. It's so wet. I'm sure Justin Allgaier may say something different in second place. Maybe he'd say the same, actually. What do you think? You got that Mustang up front. It's looking good. We're glad you missed pit road for this occasion right now. It looked like you were called to pit road, but it was close. What's your feelings inside the car right now?
A lot of anticipation here, I mean, I feel like JT and the guys doing a great job with the car. I mean, our Haas Automation Ford Mustang Dark Horse is really good, especially on the short run. But I mean, it's coming through the roof here. There's rain everywhere, so I don't know if we're gonna get back going here, but nonetheless, I think we've done a great job today. We just gotta try and finish this thing out.
Yeah, it's definitely such a hard call. We were talking about it up here, how challenging of a pit call this possibly can be. As you sit there right now, it's barely raining, right? It's not even enough to get you guys out of the car yet. But it's just such a hard place to be. How does that conversation go with your crew chief?
Well, it's tough because I'm in the car, so he kind of can see the whole picture a little bit more. And I guess the radar looks really bad, and obviously, I mean the rain is definitely covering the windshield right now on the cameras. But it's just a hard call. You're just you're hoping that you make the right one here. But nonetheless, really proud of what we've done here today. We're bringing a really fast car that has led a lot of laps. So hopefully, come back here and be in victory lane later.
Absolutely. You guys done a great job. Fast car. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Here's a cool stat for you. 6 of the last 7 drivers that have won here have gone on that season to make the championship 4. And I say that because you got Custer in that circumstance winning here 2019. And Justin Allgaier has 2 wins here in recent years. This has just been an unbelievable track for the veteran driver out of Illinois. Thrilling finish here in 18 with his teammate. And that day, not only won the race, looked like that was one of those dash for cash afternoons for him. Won again in 2020. That was the weekend we were doing the double header. He's been impressive again today, winning stage 1, second right now. Let's dial him up.
Oh. Hey, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Adam Alexander in the booth. How is it wet down there? What's it look like from your seat?
Oh, time. Yeah, I mean it's wet. It's steady. It's not real heavy, but it's definitely a steady rain down here. Just yeah, it's hard to tell what to expect here. I know we're right on the edge of the weather and see what happens.
Well, you look like you were about to really start putting pressure on Cole there before they had that yellow. You know, you ran him down from a few seconds back, and we know your car's really good on the long run. Obviously, there were some split decisions on pitting. I mean, take us a little bit through what that conversation was like with you and crew chief.
Yeah, I mean, obviously our derail logistics from was really good today. Track position has been so key, and you know, we've been on both sides of it now. At the end of that long run there, I felt like it was really playing to our favor to have the corner wrap around the bottom like we have, and you know, felt like we were gaining on Cole. You know, and getting around lap traffic is super difficult. You're never really sure what to expect, but I think there's such a big cell behind what's already here that, you know, I was kind of hoping it would run longer, to be honest with you, under green. If it would run longer, I think we had a shot at getting Cole there. But once the caution came out, the cell's so close, it'd be really hard to come down pit road and just give up a solid finish if the rains do come.
I hear you. Well, really good job today. We'll see. Hopefully we get this thing back going, but best of luck the rest of the day.
Either way, thanks. I appreciate it, and hope you guys are having fun up there. It's probably a little drier up there than it is down here, but hopefully you guys have a little bit of fun up there, and we're putting on a good race for you.
Yeah, y'all definitely put on a good show. We appreciate it, and have a good one.
I'm surprised he admitted that it's raining. I mean, Cole Custer oversold it, but he was honest with us. I respect him for that.
I thought he was going to be like, bone dry.
Yeah.
Well done steak. It's dry. Not a drop of rain out here.
I mean, we talked about Justin Allgaier and the finishes that he's had here, right? 9 out of the last 10 have been like
top
the top 3. This would be another one if it continued to rain right now. Here's a little race recap. Early in the race, Haley Deegan, J.J. Yaley, contact very early.
This was scary. Ryan Sieg, one of those drivers going for the $100,000 today, catches fire. He was released from the care center. Stage 1 goes to Justin Allgaier. Started 3rd, got the advantage, and led 34 laps. Cole Custer won a race off pit road at the end of stage 1. Worked through some traffic and won stage 2. Jesse Love was in the top 5 or 6 when he had the flat tire. Had to make an unscheduled stop. He's 2 laps down in 27th. And rain brings out our 5th caution of the day, lap 159. We rode around a little bit. Now the red flag. JT celebrating. We'll see if he celebrated too early. And I don't know. Man, it's hard to tell with this radar if we're going to get back going or not.
Yeah, I mean, just in that no man's land where it's not quite raining hard to say, get out of the car, we got to put jet dryers out. And not quite dry enough to say, put the cars back on the track, let's let them go again. So this is the worst place. If you're a driver, you're like, come on, just one or the other.
Yeah,
you know?
make a call one way or the other, yeah.
And those guys that just pitted, they are in the best spot, right? The cars that pitted, Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Quapple, they pitted. They're hoping we go back green, and then they're going to be in the catbird.
We need to dial Jones or Hill up and be like, is it raining? that would be the answer that we want, is dry out here.
No word from NASCAR. Last report we got from Justin Allgaier, who said there is light rain. We continue to monitor the situation in Dover.
All right, so waiting the official word here again for the conclusion of this race. Cole Custer is your race leader. 33 laps to go, lap 167 of 200. So we'll pass the halfway point in this one, so if it does rain, it becomes official. It is raining, but not hard enough to put the covers on, but it is still at least a light rain at the moment. Much heavier rain is on the way, so it's just a matter of if they end up losing the racetrack. The jet drivers are on the track right now, so the track isn't completely lost, which is why the covers aren't on the cars. But if it does get to that point at all, I'm sure they will end up calling it. Remember, Dover does not have lights, and with it being just so little laps to go in the race, it wouldn't be worth waiting out a few-hour rainstorm to finish the last 33 laps. I mean, you got to figure it's going to rain for at least the next few hours when the rain does get there, and then they got to dry the track after the fact. It just wouldn't make sense to just wait all day to finish the last 30 or less than 30 laps of the race by the time they would actually get back to green. So I would imagine that this is going to be the finish of the race. It's just waiting on NASCAR to make the call to finish it, and they're not going to make the call until it does start raining. Obviously, so just in case something crazy happens where it doesn't completely downpour and they get a hole to potentially try to finish this thing under green flag conditions. So that is why we are listening to the broadcast as much as we are throughout the last several minutes whenever they are on their coverage without any commercials. So that way, when we do get the official word, you guys will get to listen into that. Average race speed at this point, 98.23 miles per hour. This caution is the 5th of the day for rain. And we haven't had a caution for incidents since lap 25 when Ryan Sieg's car caught fire in stage 1. And then the lap 4 crash between Haley Deegan and J.J. Yaley. Looks like we're back to caution here. I think we're going to get this race in. We are back to caution all of a sudden. Red flag has been lifted. Honestly, I feel like the rain on the windshield, if I had to guess, it was probably just from before, because Allgaier's windshield looked to be relatively clean when they were talking to him. So I guess we're going to get this thing in. And this is not what those 6 drivers that did not pit want to see. Sammy Smith didn't pit until it looked like he potentially ran out of gas, and that's why he's a lap down at 25th. Yeah, they are back on the racetrack.
We're under caution again, and the driver's up behind the pace car getting a feel for the track.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to think right now. These poor guys that stayed out, it still may rain before we go back green. There's no telling what's going to happen. But I think that, look at this. I think he's pitted. He pitted.
Wow.
Pitting.
Regan, here comes the 0-0.
Well, Adam, a lot of conversation on the radio when they fired the cars back up. Jonathan Toney said if we get going and on the racetrack, we are going to pit the first time by. Right up until the moment they peeled off onto pit road, Cole finally came on the radio and said, are we pitting or not? They said pit. They think that this is going to get back going now and that the weather's going to blow out, so they're going to put the tires on him. He's been a little bit too tight up until this point. As the runs goes on, the car gives up a little bit after 30 laps.
Well, that's pretty early to pit, too. Like, I'm just saying that they didn't give them the 1 to go yet. I think I would have stayed out to at least get the 1 to go. They've already pitted at a closed pit road there, so you're going to have to start the tail end of the field. Tail end behind all the lap cars. So the very, very back. So you're not even going to be able to pass anybody for position. You'll be behind all the lap cars. I believe I would at least stayed out, Ryan, until
At least till 1 to go.
1 to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a hard call to make. And I'll tell you who has benefited since we've already chosen. 81 just came to pit road, Chandler Smith. So I'll tell you who's really benefited. Austin Hill picked the top along with Carson Quapple, and they have just been promoted. They're promoting. Austin Hill's on the front row now. Carson Quapple's 4th. Brandon Jones was the first car off of pit road, and he chose the bottom, and he's only 5th. That just shows who's come to pit road, who has not come to pit road. So let's check in what the 7's been saying.
It's raining harder now than it was when we stopped the race. Yep, stay out.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
This is incredible. This is wild. We always find new ways to make it exciting up here.
I'm in disbelief of not the fact that we're just riding around, the strategy of this. And right now I'm here, we're coming back to the one to go. I see the flag man. He's got the flag wrapped up like you're going to give him the one to go. If Allgaier is going to pit, this is going to be his last chance to pit, unless he's going to go green in that position with not a whole bunch of gas left.
And thinking about the 48 as well. The 7 and the 48 of Parker Kligerman are the two cars that we anticipate could be running low on fuel. I thought he might come there, but he stays out.
He did. It's a gamble either way, right? I mean, you say it's a gamble. No matter what you do right now, you're gambling.
They're going to get the one to go, and this takes me to how Austin Hill has won races, right? I mean, you think about the ending at Daytona, what happened at Atlanta, and once again, he could be in position.
More times than not, you see Austin Hill be pretty solid all day. He wasn't bad today, but then all of a sudden you see him in victory lane. Just some way, somehow that team figures out how to win. Either way, he's sitting here second place if it was the rain right now. And if not, he's in a great spot. I don't know what the seven.
So now Justin, he's trying to say he wants to top, possibly.
He doesn't get to choose, I don't believe.
I don't think he gets to choose either.
Man, it looked like
I don't know.
I think he's trying to probably just delay it to it.
Wow.
Oh, maybe he is doing that. I don't think he can do that. Wow.
Whoa.
So there's
that was an interesting move.
He got him to wave off the green by
got him to the left.
By screwing up the lineup. Oh my goodness.
Let's go 7 radio.
Go up in front of him. We just chose the top. Go up in front of him. I know. They didn't get it right. Them guys are all wrong. Pull up in front of them. This is wrong. They got to call it off or open pit road. You chose the outside. Stay there. You're running into me under caution.
No, I mean, to me, the choose happened before they came down pit road. The choose stayed the way it was. You can't, just because you got promoted up to the front row doesn't mean you get to switch or do different things. I believe Justin Allgaier is smarter than you think, and he has done exactly what he tried to do by waving off the green flag, hoping for another 1 minute if the rain is close by.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of the race, the initial start. These two got together, right? And I'm not saying that played a role in what happened here, but this isn't the first time we've seen Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier have a bit of a disagreement over real estate in today's race. Now we're going to get the green. Outside lane, Austin Hill.
Oh boy, here we go. Well, now it's a new kind of race for the win. The rain, which looked like it was here, sprinkled for a little bit, passed through. We're going to try to finish the rest of the race under green. We're down to just 28 laps to go. Green flag is going to be back in the air. Austin Hill leads us to racing. Allgaier on older tires trying to take off, and he's going to try to hold on for dear life. Contact with the 21 cars. They get into the first turn. He goes up the hill. He's trying to get around and take the race lead off turn 2. He does. Allgaier on the old tires leads. Austin Hill right behind him. Sends him into the corner. Up the hill goes the 7. And the 21 of Austin Hill has taken the race lead. The 88 of Carson Quaffle moves into second. And Sheldon Creed to third. Allgaier back with a crossover move underneath the 18 car of Sheldon Creed. The 7 moves to third. One car in the wall off turn 2. Contact with Brandon Jones, and Jones is around on the back straightaway. Caution is out with Hill leading, Quaffle second, and Allgaier third.
You said it, Austin Hill. They figure out a way to be up front when it matters the most. And there you see right there in the lead with 26 to go.
Brandon Jones started on the pole, led 13 laps. Has not finished inside the top 10 since Phoenix last month. Here's what happened.
See him as 3 wide. AJ Allmendinger up top. Riley Herbst on the bottom. AJ has to check up on the exit. He wasn't ready for that. It had to make a big move to not run in the back of AJ.
Yeah, just one of those things. AJ was up a little higher than he wanted to be. Got in the fence, checked up, and just he just bounced off the wall, you know, and the 9 is there, unfortunately, and there's the got the short end of the stick on that one.
You know, I really thought Brandon Jones was in one of the best positions after he took tires there. Unfortunately, that restart didn't go the way he planned it.
Cole Custer, who had made the pit stop and got the fuel, had to start at the rear because they pitted prior to the pit lane opening up, but he's now scored 15th, so his caution tightens things up, gets another restart for him as he tries to come from behind.
Yeah, so now Cole, right, he pitted when the pits were closed, so that made him go all the way to the very back. So now he can move in front of the cars that are a lap down. So there's a few cars in front of him that are a lap down, so now he can actually gain positions on the next restart.
Pit road will be open this time around.
And you got to think the 7 is coming. You know, I'm right. I mean, I feel like
I don't know how much more gas he's got left.
Yeah, I shouldn't have.
Hey, also look at our pylon with the dash for cash. Herbst is 7th, but Alfredo hanging around in the 11th position.
Here we come to pit road entry. The car we expect to pit is Justin Allgaier. They give up all this track position for the gamble that they thought it was going to rain earlier.
Boy, this has been some kind of wild race. Here's the 7, Josh.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier reluctantly comes into pit. Before that, he just said, hey, it's raining harder than it was before. But the team told him, hey, we got to come in, end of our fuel window. We're going to get 4 tires and fuel.
We had mentioned prior to the restart, Parker Kligerman was also one of those drivers short when you looked at the fuel mileage situation. He had fallen back on that last restart, so he too comes down and gets his service. Kyle Sieg had been up there in the top 5 for a while. They were rolling the dice, hoping things would wash out and he could steal a top 5 or a top 10, but he too is making a pit stop, and all of that's good for Cole Custer as he continues to cycle up inside the top 12 now prior to the choose.
It looks like the rain is kind of picked back up a little bit from some onboard cameras.
Guys, we talked about this. I mean, everybody watching this broadcast saw the radar. We put it on here. You would say there's no way they're going to go back racing. Those crew chiefs are looking at something very similar to that, and that's why they made the call they did before. Like I said, it's a gamble no matter what you do. Whether you stay out or come down pit road, calling a race off of the weather is just so hard to do.
Leading this race, Justin Allgaier is 2nd. The rain comes, 33 to go. Eventually, we go back under yellow after we get a red flag for rain. Custer says, we've got to pit. They do. Allgaier gets the lead, but he goes wide. Austin Hill takes over the top spot. We get the caution for Brandon Jones. And everything is cycled through with Austin Hill leading this race. Carson Quapple in his 2nd start. First trip to Dover is in the 2nd position. Creed looking for his first career win is up there in 3rd. Mayer, who's been quiet today, is 4th. And Taylor Gray is 5th. And we understand 23 to go. We're coming back to 1 to go to the green flag, and we'll do the choose.
Big choose here. This is a very important one. And, you know, if you're Carson Quapple, here you are as a second time in one of these cars. You're about to choose on the front row with 23 to go next to Austin Hill, who's won a lot of these races, is very, very strong and very experienced at late race restarts for the win. Boy, he's in a tough spot, but what an awesome opportunity he's put himself in.
Yeah, great opportunity, and right, he's going to take the front row. You can't not take the front row. And he does take the bottom. I like that. You definitely have to do that. And he's got his teammate behind him, Sam Mayer, so hopefully they can both launch fairly decent.
Here's a cool story. Dale Jr., the boss man, is going to drive that 88 later this year at Bristol. His first trip to the Monster Mile, 1998, he won. So here's Carson Quapple, never been here before.
Maybe round 2.
I'm guessing Junior's cheering him on big time at home. I can only imagine the emotions. He's invested a lot in this young driver, 2nd generation. We talked about his dad, Travis, and boy, has he done an awesome job today. Started 26th after being great in practice yesterday, but on the front row for a restart right at 20 laps to go.
Well, You thought it was intense before.
All right, 20 laps left on the restart. Again, the rain still staying away for right now. We had a brief rain shower come through, never lost the racetrack, so that has delayed the finish of the race just a little bit. We'll see if we get to the end. 21 laps to go. Austin Hill leads us to the green. Carson Quaffle, the rookie, in his second career Xfinity race on the inside of row 1. Great push from Sheldon Creed to the back of the 21 car as they get into the first turn. Creed is looking all over the back of Hill off the exit of turn 2 as they battle nose to tail. Quaffle side by side with Taylor Gray for the third place position into 3 and 4. Creed trying to get his first career Xfinity Series win. And 18 again, still door-to-door with Quaffle. Now Quaffle is going to hold on for third as he's clear off the exit of turn 2 again. About a 4 to 5 car length gap between second and third on the racetrack. Taylor Gray slides up the hill a little bit, getting into turns 3 and 4. Almost opened up the door for Sam Mayer, the other Junior Motorsports Chevy in the top 5, to work his way to the inside for fourth. Anthony Alfredo has broken into the top 10 on the restart to 9th, 2 positions behind Herbst in the race for the Dash for Cash. And Alfredo in the middle, 3 wide. Jeb Burt nearly scrapes the wall off the exit of turn 2. Still 3 wide middle is Alfredo. Contact from the 81. The 81 into the 5, which knocked the 27 up the hill even further. No caution, we stayed green. They all kept it going in the right direction. A 3 to 4/10 of a second advantage for Austin Hill over Sheldon Creed. With it being early in the run, that outside groove is not widened out yet. We'll see if it will widen out before the end of this thing, or if it's going to be primarily a one-groove track around the bottom. Not sure how much maybe the light rain might have potentially washed some of the rubber off the racetrack from the outer lane as well. Maybe a little bit longer for that to be worked up. Waffle a second off the race lead now behind the 18 and the 21. Car in the wall hard off turn 2, Taylor Gray, and he's slow on the backstretch. Caution flag is out. Gray pounded the wall. And he's coming to pit road.
On the right side of his Toyota.
Yeah, it looked from behind it. It's hard to say for sure without seeing the replay, but it looked like he had tagged in the left rear. We're going to get a better view here. You see Sam Mayer in the 1. Like
just
he's going to get him.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we talked about it. You know, it's so narrow on the exit of these corners when you're trying to run side by side, and you know, the car on the bottom wants to shove up, the car on the outside wants to try to take a little bit of racetrack away, and that's like the worst spot, right? If they're on your left rear, you're already going to get loose, and then obviously contact makes you looser. That we all know.
Huge hit, Blaney.
Yeah,
that's a knock the wind out of you type of thing. These cars don't crush much on the doors, right? And the ones in the front hurt as well, but boy, when you hit right in the door like that, it definitely goes through your whole body. Big hit.
I blew a tire off of turn 2, about that same spot in about 2016, and that's no fun.
You remembered it. Thank goodness you remembered it, though.
Barely. Austin Hill. Now, the restart, Sheldon Creed going to be on the front row, going for his first win. You know, so we know. So, back-to-back restarts we had Carson Quaffle going first win, just a second start. Now you're going to have, we all know how, you know, aggressive Sheldon Creed can be of, you know, trying to go for a race win, right? He's going to line up at the 21. How aggressive does he get, you know, getting off into turn 1?
Well, let's not forget, it is a little history here. Not to bring up the drama.
Not a little, a lot.
There's a lot of drama between those two. And, oh man, I don't know who I'd want on the inside of me. You know, the 8 better than 4 situation? I don't know.
I forgot about that. Ex-teammates.
And in this case, where do you choose if you're Carson Quaffle? Where do you go? Because did you go to the bottom and think they're going to both wash up? Here's a little history of the two.
This is where the spot in the championship 4 on the line. Sheldon Creed driving the 2. We go to overtime at Martinsville, and the final lap just got crazy. And Justin Allgaier says, "Thank you very much." Richard Childress not happy. Austin Hill not happy. And at the end of 2023, Sheldon Creed left RCR to go to Joe Gibbs Racing, and now going to be going for the top spot late here at Dover.
And that was just the most recent one. I believe there was more than just that.
Oh,
but that was definitely the one that seems like broke the relationship for maybe forever. So it'll be very interesting to see the way this one plays out. Now they're not teammates anymore. Sheldon's driving a Joe Gibbs car.
And congratulations to Sheldon and wife Camby this week. They welcomed their second child, and so we congratulate them on that. He'd love to bring the trophy home. He was racing in Portland a couple years ago. He was nervous about getting home when Axel was born, and here's the tweet that came out. Pierce is now here and looking good. He needs a Miles the Monster onesie, you know that?
Oh, absolutely. No bigger moments than that right there. That's what puts everything into perspective on what we're really doing here.
So they did open up the pit lane, but unless you're having some kind of an issue, you're not going to give up track position here. Be 13 to go when they come around this time, and keep an eye on Cole Custer. 8th before the choose.
Ryan Truex going to be 4th.
Well, we know Cole Custer, he even said it, how strong he is on the restarts. The first 2 laps of a run, he's really, really strong. It's going to be hard to come from 8th to win the race, but we've seen him do that 3 wide top move a couple times. I wouldn't be surprised if I see him try to pull that move off again to try to get a few more spots, get into the top 5.
With Austin Hill leading, let's revisit the last time Richard Childress Racing was able to win here at the Monster Mile. Driving the 29 car, Fox's own Clint Boyer. Boom, there it is.
Boy, it's crazy just to see those kind of cars on the racetrack again, isn't it? I remember those days.
15 years ago. He still knows how to celebrate, by the way.
Those type moments. I was in that race.
We're going to do the choose with 12 laps to go. We'll get the restart with 11 remaining.
Well, if you're Austin Hill, gosh, I don't know what lane I'd pick. I think the top.
I think I would want the top just because I would have more confidence in trying to launch and beat that guy. Get one.
Quapple that was probably one of the tougher ones, but I still agree. You got to take the top. You got to go with the leader on that scenario.
Yeah.
But there's a good chance that Sam Mayer is in a great seat right now, because if not Sam Mayer, Herbst is in a good spot as on the buck.
Truex is
even better. He's in an even better spot than Herbst.
Maybe not in the best spot either.
Whose team are you on?
Ryan Truex is in a great spot as well. I would say he's in a good spot. If they wash up the racetrack, which I believe there's a chance, right? If Sheldon's able to stay side by side with them into the corner, it could get ugly.
Yeah, if they enter even into turn 1, it could get very exciting. Now, Austin Hill's banking on, I'm going to beat him, on launch, and I'm going to be clear, like he was clear of the 88, the last restart, right? So, 2 guys wishing for 2 different things.
Rain has still stayed clear. The more cautions we get, the less likely I feel like we're going to get this thing in. But Sheldon Creed on the inside of row 1, the control car. Austin Hill on the outside of the front row. 11 laps left at Dover. Green flag is back in the air. Great launch on the inside lane by Sheldon Creed after the 21 spins his tires. The 18 up the hill a little bit. Truex took a peek to go 3 wide to the inside, but couldn't stay underneath the 18 and the 21. Door-to-door for the lead, down the back straightaway between Creed and Hill. Hill on the outside, Creed on the inside. Creed sails it off into the quarter, goes up the racetrack, clears Austin Hill. Sheldon Creed to the lead with 10 laps to go. Battle for third side by side now between Quaffle and Truex as they battle into turn 1 for that position. Sam Mayer in the rear view just behind him. The 21 gets into the back of the 18. He moves him up out of the way, and now he's running for dear life down the backstretch as they still stay side by side for the lead. Creed on the outside, Hill on the inside. The 20 washes up the track as he overdrives the corner. Mayer slides to 4th. Truex gets tagged in the left rear, keeps it off the wall. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, it's still side by side for the lead between Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed. Hill slides up the racetrack. Quaffle almost takes them 3 wide to the bottom, backed out of it as they make their way off the exit of turn 2. Door to door for 2.5 laps off the restart and a battle for the win between Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill. Creed on the outside, Hill on the bottom. They nearly touch. 3 wide for the lead to the bottom goes Quaffle. In his second career race is going to take the 2 former teammates to school. Quaffle's out in front. Carson Quaffle leads. Creed bounces off the wall on the exit of turn 2. Hill's got another shot at it. Can he get back to the 88? Creed loses a spot after hitting the wall a half a lap ago. Ryan Truex recovers to third. 7 laps to go. And with 7 to go, it is a battle between the 88 and the 21 for right now. Sheldon Creed has fallen to fourth, trying to keep the fenders on it here to the finish. And Ryan Truex is lurking on the top 2. That last lap, Truex was quicker than both. Well, I guess Creed and Hill still showing 1 and 2 on our leaderboard. Meanwhile, a spin behind them for Riley Herbst, and they pile up further back at the end of the front stretch. 8th caution of the day. Looked like a lazy single-car spin for Riley Herbst, turned into a few other cars brake-checking into one another after the fact. And that's going to give Anthony Alfredo the lead in the dash for cash in 8th place. 6 to go at the time of the caution. This will put us into an overtime. And Carson Quaffle, again, is your race leader.
Wow, this race has turned 10 times from what you thought it was going to be. In the last 45 minutes, I have no... You could never have called what is going on right now. Sammy Smith calling out. He's kind of pinned up against the wall there.
So this will probably bring us to a green white checker.
Gotta believe we're going to get overtime. Yep, it's going to take a while to get everything fixed up.
We see teammates with each other, and Justin Allgaier going to get a run under him. He kind of opened up the door for him a little bit there, Blaney. I don't... late in the race, you open up the door, you're probably going to stick your nose there and try to make the pass, right?
Yeah, it opened up briefly. It was cracked open.
Yeah.
Not been fully open.
He forced it the rest of the way open.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
one of
know.
those things, right? Trying to make, his exit of the corner, and the 2 guys just kind of collided.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm placing blame on anybody on that one. That looks like racing to me.
Herbst did a great job of hanging on to that thing and sliding through, and just so much traffic behind him. Couldn't avoid the contact.
I mean, he can't help that part of it coming back down the hill there. The banking is so steep here at Dover, you're going to slide back down.
I want to go back. Let's look at how Carson Quaffle got this lead. 21, 18 racing each other hard, and the 88 just jumps on an opportunity. Wasn't afraid to stick at bottom of 3 wide. You see these guys wash up the track a little bit right in front of him, the 18 and the 21. And Carson just does a really good job of rolling the bottom. I mean, almost like the same thing that just happened. Just both guys getting loose, having to check up. 88 gets a good run, and then doesn't back out into turn 1. He sends it down in there, hooks the bottom great, and just drives by him.
And that's, like we said, he recognized what was going on in front of him. You had 2 guys racing for the win off the bottom of the track. He saw the gap, right? Just a little bit of air on the very, very bottom. There's his dad, Travis. Looking at, imagine watching your son going for his first win in his second start in the Xfinity Series. I mean, I don't know who's more nervous. Probably Dad.
Oh, for sure, Dad.
For sure, right? Like, he's got to be. But what a great job Carson did to be able to recognize what was going on there and be able to keep the momentum to make a 3-wide pass for the lead, maybe for the win at Dover. You don't ever see that.
Think about 2024 in the Xfinity Series and all of the wild finishes that we have had. You just can't make up some of these dramatic endings. I go to Atlanta, race 2, All these drivers running out of fuel. We go to overtime, get the restart. Then the leader, Jesse Love, who had dominated, runs out of gas. Austin Hill wins it. Allgaier looks like he's going to win. Inside of 5 to go at Phoenix. Has the tire go down. He hits the wall and is so frustrated. And then Circuit of the Americas. Austin Hill, Shane Van Gisbergen trading blows. Here comes Kyle Larson winning in the Xfinity Series. Overtime at Martinsville. Eric Almirola gets the lead. Caution comes out. And the 20 gets the victory. And then 2 weeks ago, Texas Motor Speedway. Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer. Final lap. Second closest finish in Xfinity Series history. It's Mayer who wins it by 2/1000ths of a second. Junior Motorsports won then, and they're in position to do it today. But it's not Sam Mayer. It's not Brandon Jones, the pole sitter. It's not Justin Allgaier, who's always good at Dover. It is this young kid, Carson Quapple, making only his second start, and he's done a magnificent job this afternoon.
Absolutely. It was so much fun to watch those highlights, too. These Xfinity Series cars and drivers, but these cars just put on an incredible race. Right down to the very, very end. The strategy that's come down to some of those races as well, right, with not many sets of tires, definitely makes it interesting as well. Boy, it's been a fun season for me sitting up here in the booth so far, watching these races come down to the end. And Dover is another one of those today.
So we're going to overtime here. If you're looking for PBA Bowling Elite League from Fairlawn, Ohio, it's currently starting over on FS2. We'll get you there as soon as we're all done here at the Monster Mile. Let's do 88 radio, Carson Quapple and crew.
00 did take the bottom a lot earlier, and he would just sail it off down in there and clear up. You just don't want him to put it right there on your right recorder. TJ, what are you thinking? Yeah, I think if you're controlling it, launcher from the bottom, I like that move. Yeah, they were able to control it earlier from the bottom.
Man, I don't know. It could be either way, right? It's if you're controlling it, okay. I could see the bottom possibly being a good move because you have control of the launch. You understand that, but it is tough to launch out of the hole right there. But Regan, what do you have with the nervous dad at this right now?
I think nervous might be an understatement right now, Ryan. Travis Quapple, you've been in some high-pressure situations as a driver. What's this like as a dad watching your son try to get his first win?
This is pretty incredible. I definitely felt like we had a fast car going into today, but to be competing for the win here on a green-white checker is pretty amazing. We've been in these situations before, just not quite at this level. I know he can do it. Hopefully he just gets a good launch and get a good entry in turn 1 and set sail.
Good luck. Thanks.
But here comes the choose. He's going to take the top. I like that.
Yeah, I like the top as well. I just feel like, the 21 kind of spun the tires on the last start, though, when he was on the top and he was the control car. But, gosh, you can't put your mind, in the driver's seat of these guys, right? Yes, Joey and I drive, but we're not in their situations right now. We don't know how they've been launching all day in their cars, so you just got to put it in that young kid's hands and then, hey, trust him 100%. I know that team probably does, and he has a great opportunity to do something awesome.
Overtime.
All right, first overtime attempt at a restart. It looks like we're going to be going 2 laps past the scheduled distance of this one, assuming that we don't get another caution. And if we do get a caution after the white flag is displayed, then that will end up ending the race at the time of yellow. Austin Hill on the inside of row 1, Carson Quapple to the outside of row 1, and Carson is the control car in his second career race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, trying to go for the win after finishing 4th in his first career race at Martinsville a few weeks ago. Row 2 on the restart, you got Sheldon Creed, Ryan Truex lined back up again. Creed is on the inside of row 2, may get into the back of the 21 here. We'll have to wait and see. Green flag back in the air, good launch on the outside, good launch on the inside by the front row starters. Creed all over the back of the 21. Austin Hill slides up the racetrack, makes contact, and he is sliding sideways and has to make a save. And he does, but the caution flag is out. Hill overdrove it. We'll have another restart. Quapple holds on to the lead and holds on to his race car.
For trying there, and obviously a very tight spot, and he's going to, obviously Quapple's going to put it on his door late like that. You see Justin Allgaier with quite a bit of damage on the right recorder panel. don't know exactly how that happened.
You know, I mean, in Austin's shoes, right, he got a good launch, and his plan was he's trying to get the 88 on his right rear quarter panel to tighten him up, you know, so he can kind of use some racetrack up, and the 88 understood that, and he got in the corner just as deep as the 21, and then the next thing you know, 21 has no side force and spins it around.
Yeah, I mean, Quapple does a great job. Yeah, what I think is great here is if you look at the first restart, Carson was on the front row. He lifted way early and gave up position. This time he learned from his mistake and he drove in. He said, okay, Austin, however hard you drive in, I'm going in even harder because I have to stay at your door. He did the right thing.
We did the onboard with Cole Custer, who's back up inside the top 5. Now onboard Ryan Truex. He had a front row seat. Third.
That's going to put our last year's winner, Ryan Truex, on the front row. He moves up to second.
Sammy Smith, a part of that last accident. He has been released from the care center. Caution comes out in overtime. Quapple's leading, and there's his dad. That was probably once he got the lead, right? When he pulls out front, and then things got
and then the caution
slipped behind him, and the caution comes out.
He's like, yes, oh.
He was probably fist pumping that the 88 was still straight. You know, That's right. He didn't get turned around too.
Man, I just couldn't imagine. You know, just like I'm thinking of my little kids right now, and you think about, you know, you see your son racing like this to the very end, and nobody knows the feeling better than his dad, right? Travis Quapple's been in this position many, many times, racing for his whole life. Now you're watching your son in that position. You understand it. You get what he's thinking went through his mind. You obviously know your kid better than anybody else. You know what your son's thinking throughout it. What a cool thing. But gosh, I'd be wigging out.
But you know what it reminds me of? So Tyler Reddick wins at Talladega last year, and Michael Jordan does the interview on Fox after the race, and he said, I love being here. I love cheering on my guys. I'm living vicariously through the drivers, but I hate it because unlike when I competed, I have no control. Same situation here for Travis. He knows all of those emotions, but there's nothing he can do but sit and watch.
Yep, and you see he's got his microphone pulled back. He's got nothing to say. He's just along for the ride.
By the way, if Michael Jordan played Travis one-on-one, I know who would win.
Well,
Once again, be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you guys haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. We do live commentary streams every NASCAR race weekend. Heading for a second overtime in this NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Dover. We're at 89 likes on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100, so be sure to hit the like button again on the stream. We have well more than that many people watching. So definitely do so we can, again, get to that goal. Carson Quaffle leads in his second career Xfinity Series race. Ryan Truex now looks to be the guy who's going to be on the front row challenging him for this race win. Truex, the defending winner of this race. He's my pick, but he hasn't really been in the top 5 really this entire race until all these late race cautions following the brief rain shower at the racetrack that kind of pushed the finish of this back, plus on top of the fact that you have to add in all the extra cautions. Since the rain yellow at lap 158, we have had 4 cautions for incidents since then. So 5 cautions here in the last 42 laps of this race. And again, this is our second overtime restart that is about to begin here. Same rules apply. Race leader gets to the start-finish line for 1 lap to go. Then the next flag ends the race, whether it's the yellow or the checker. If the caution comes out before then, we'll try it again on limited attempts at a restart. And we'll see if the rookie Quaffle can get his win. You got 2 drivers trying to go for the first win of the season in part-time roles. Sam Mayer, who's now up to 3rd place, trying to go for his 2nd win in 3 weeks. Austin Hill just came down to pit road to tack on 4 fresh tires after his spin on the last restart. Highest running in the order right now is 4th of those who don't have a win and are running full-time for Xfinity Series points. That would be Shelly Creed in 4th. Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier, who were leading when the rain came and had to pit, are all of a sudden up to 5th and 6th again. They do have equal tires as everybody else by way of green flag laps, so it's still going to be tough for them to get up there, but it's just crazy that they were leading, had to go all the way to the tail end of the lead lap, even behind the lap cars in certain cases, pitting under the cautions they pitted on when pit road was closed. And then all of a sudden, here they are, right back up in the top 10, and for Custer's sake, back in the top 5. Should get the one to go this time by to set up this next restart. That is going to be the case, and again, it's going to be Quaff on the outside of row 1, Truex to the inside of row 1.
Yeah, look at Cole Custer there. He's going to be on the third row on the outside. Great recovery. You know, he went for it when we thought it was going to rain.
By the way, thanks for everybody hitting that like button. We have just hit our goal of 100 likes. We're at 101 right now. Still be sure to do so. And also a reminder that tomorrow's Cup Series coverage begins at 1:30. Again, Cup Series action on the channel, 1:30 Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon for the Worth 400 at Dover.
Career victory here at Dover. It happened a season ago with Ryan Truex. Today he's on the front row. The 88 of Carson Quapple, who's trying to deliver for the first time in his career.
You know how much this area, means to the Truex family, right? I mean, being from up north here. So, obviously it was special when Ryan and Martin won last year on the same weekend. So, Ryan's thinking about trying to grab another checkered flag here. It has a great opportunity to do it.
All right, pace cars back onto pit road. Our second overtime restart. Carson Quaffle outside of row 1, the control car again. Green flag back in the air. Gets a good launch. So does Ryan Truex on the inside of row 1. Sheldon Creed inside of row 2, looking to stick his nose on the inside of Sam Mayer for second. Door-to-door for the race lead in front of them between Truex and Quaffle. Quaffle nearly clear off the exit of turn 2. Slight contact made at the end of the backstretch into turn 3. Big-time side draft by Truex. Truex goes up the hill, and Ryan Truex has the lead. Carson Quaffle in second right behind him. Truex leads to the white flag. Next flag ends the race. Can Quaffle get him back? He's 2 to 3 car lengths off the lead into turns 1 and 2. Quaffle overdrives the entry of the corner just a bit. Caution out behind him. Race is over. Ryan Truex is going to steal the win at Dover 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, Ryan Truex will go to victory lane in a part-time role for Joe Gibbs Racing at his home track. His only 2 career wins in any of the top 3 series in NASCAR, both here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And this is the 3rd different driver to win in the 20 car this season. My pick actually ended up winning the race, despite only leading the final 2 laps. And both these laps coming in a second overtime restart. Fell into his hands and he capitalized on the rookie to his outside. Allgaier crashed off turn 4, but the caution flag did not come out until the leaders were in the middle of 1 and 2. Not sure how Allgaier got spun there. The 44, Brennan Poole, also went around. Just a tough day for Allgaier once again. Whole back bumper of his race car is all sorts of torn up. Ryan Truex is the winner, though. We'll go over the full field finishing results once we get this interview in with your race winner, Ryan Truex. And then that will conclude our live commentary coverage of the BetRivers 200 at Dover. And again, a reminder, tomorrow's Cup action on the channel will begin at 1:30 Eastern Time. Ryan Truex hopping out of his car on the front stretch. Again, margin of victory in this one under caution. This race finishing under caution in the second overtime.
That game position, getting in 3 to do what he needs to do and take home a checker flag. That's cool. 2 years in a row. Doesn't get to run a lot of these races, but he makes the most of the opportunity when he does get to run them.
Officially, he leads the last. Stayed in the game, in position late, and delivers it in double overtime. Talked about how special this weekend was a year ago for the Truex family. Martin winning the Cup race, Ryan winning an Xfinity competition, and Martin Sr. was here for it all. Let's go to Josh.
Ryan Truex, for the 2nd year in a row, a winner here at Dover. Walk me through that final restart and, most importantly, what it means to get this win at your home track.
I can't believe it. Our car was just good at the end when it mattered. I was so loose all day. I got to apologize for the running into the two. I ran out of talent, to be frank. So feel bad about that. Shout out to Carson. What an amazing run for, second race? Yeah, I felt a little bad running him up the hill, but man, you got to take these things when you can. And this GR Super was fastest Xfinity Internet. I'm out of breath from that. I think I held my breath those last 2 laps. Thank you so much to the fans for being here. Love this track. Love this crowd. Just can't believe it.
Ryan Truex, your winner at Dover.
Carson Quaffle comes home in third place. So close, getting a little 2 words from your dad right there. So close today. Take me through that last restart and how it could have gone different.
Yeah, I just felt like, I don't know. I thought we had a pretty good restart on the one before with Hill there. And I don't know. God, it sucks, right? They get that close. And I really don't even know what to say. I think we had a really fast Chevrolet here. June Motorsports brought me a really good piece, and I'm just really, really fortunate to be in the spot that I am, and I'm happy that I have a shot to win at the race at the end there. But we were at a good car. I just couldn't really get it through the restart really good. I was really questionable about the top line. My car seemed to pin the bottom the whole day, but it seems like the top was so dominant, and he just barely got us there going into 3.
Thanks, Carson. 20 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina. We're going to hear a lot from him. 2 career starts.
Two career starts, 3rd and a 4th place finish for him. 3rd today, 4th at Martinsville a few weeks ago. Total time on the race, 2 hours, 22 minutes, 48 seconds. It might seem like the race took longer than that. That was because of the red flag we had for rain in the middle of that. The red flag itself was only about 12 minutes, believe it or not. It felt longer, and especially going past the scheduled distance here by 8 laps with 2 overtime finishes. Our average race speed today was 88.34 miles per hour, and again, margin of victory under caution with Ryan Truex getting the win. Didn't realize Sheldon Creed got the second on Carson Quaffle there on the last lap. I saw Carson go up the racetrack in second, so these results are unofficial again because the race ended under yellow. Not sure again exactly how Carson Quaffle ended up 3rd and Sheldon Creed ended up 2nd, but Creed scored 2nd, Quaffle 3rd, Sam Mayer 4th, and Cole Custer rounds out the top 5. A.J. Allmendinger with a 6th place run, Chandler Smith 7th. Kyle Weatherman started top 10 today, finishes an 8th. Good day for him. Anthony Alfredo wins the Dash for Cash after finishing 9th today, so an extra $100,000 going to him. Congratulations to that 5 team at Our Motorsports for that. Parker Retzlaff rounds out the top 10 in 10th place as well with a quietly good run. Jeb Burton finishes 11th, Parker Kligerman 12th, Ryan Ellis 13th, Jeremy Clements 14th, Austin Hill 15th, Riley Herbst 16th, Justin Allgaier 17th, Shane Van Gisbergen 18th, Brandon Jones 19th, Daniel Dye rounds out the top 20, and those were all the drivers that finished on the lead lap. Leland Honeyman in 21st, finished the first car 1 lap down, Brennan Poole 22nd, Caden Honeycutt 23rd, Jesse Love 24th, and Josh Williams 25th. 26th, 2 laps down for David Starr, Kyle Sieg 27th, Patrick Emerly 28th, Dawson Cram 29th, and Garrett Smithley in 30th. Haley Deegan 31st, Matt DiBenedetto 32nd, Sammy Smith 33rd, Taylor Gray 34th, Corey Heim 35th, Blaine Perkins 36th, Ryan Sieg 37th, J.J. Yaley 38th, and I do believe in total we would have ended up having 6 drivers DNF from this race today, and again, only 20 on the lead lap at the finish. Cole Custer led the most laps today. He won Stage 2, led 95 laps. Stage 1 winner Justin Allgaier led 39. Carson Quaffle was leading there down the home stretch, led 14 laps, didn't hang on for both the overtime restarts, just the one. And Ryan Truex led just 2 laps today en route to his victory, the last 2 in that second overtime finish. The last one obviously under caution as the race ended under yellow. In total, with all the cautions we ended up having, looks like we finished with 10 yellows in this race today, and 5 of which happened in the last 27 laps of the race. From the rain caution with 42 to go, we had 6 yellows in the final stage, all in the last 42 laps of the scheduled distance of this one. Went past it by 8 laps. The last 50 laps of this race, we had 7 cautions. It turned into a wreck fest, but needless to say, we are here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That's going to wrap up our live commentary coverage of this NASCAR Xfinity Series BetRivers 200 at Dover. Again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 Eastern Time. Again, 1:30 Eastern tomorrow afternoon for our Cup Series coverage. Thank you for hitting that like button. For those of you that have done so already, we hit our goal of 100 likes today. We're at 108 right now. And again, have a good rest of your Saturday night. I will see you back and better than ever tomorrow afternoon for the Worth 400 NASCAR Cup race from Dover Motor Speedway. See you then, everybody.